Chapter 44-31. The fifth match of the 11th round was between Xian Yanqing and Yiling Hongye. Everyone was looking forward to this match. It was mainly because of Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing had encountered people with 12-star battle prowess 3 times, but he had never really fought. The first time he faced Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing admitted defeat. Later on, when he encountered Dark Knight Rose and Myriad God, Dark Knight Rose and Myriad God also admitted defeat. Xian Yanqing had only fought against people with 11-star battle prowess. He had not fought against anyone with 12-star battle prowess. The others did not know Xian Yanqing's true strength. Now, through the battle with Yiling Hongye, they should be able to see some problems. Now, Yi Chu Tianji and Yiling Hongye had completely become tools for others to measure their strength. Yi Chu Tianji and Yiling Hongye were naturally very unhappy about this. I must defeat this traitor in this battle. Yiling Hongye stared at Xian Yanqing and roared in her heart. She was filled with determination. She swore in her heart that she must win this battle and wash away her shame. This was her last chance to wash away her shame. She had been defeated by Dark Knight Rose and Yi Qiuxian. In addition, Wan Shen and Lu Ming had not fought with her, but Wan Shen and Lu Ming had defeated Yi Chu Tianji one after another. Her battle prowess was about the same as Yi Chu Tianji's. Since Lu Ming and Wan Shen could defeat Yi Chu Tianji, she was most likely no match for them. Now, only Xian Yanqing's battle prowess was unclear. As long as she defeated Xian Yanqing, she could regain some face and not be so humiliated. It seems like you don't want to admit defeat. Then make your move. I'll give you a chance to make your move. Xian Yanqing said. These words directly provoked Yiling Hongye. Lowly person, shut up. Yiling Hongye shouted coldly and rushed towards Xian Yanqing. As she rushed out, she pressed her hands together and the red leaf domain erupted, enveloping Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing seemed to be stunned. He stood there motionless, allowing Hongye's domain to approach. In the next moment, Xian Yanqing was enveloped by the red leaf domain. Great! Seeing this, Yiling Hongye was overjoyed. Once he was enveloped by her red leaf domain, her chances of victory would increase by 20%. They both had 12-star battle prowess, but their chances of victory were increased by 20%. That was a huge difference. I'm definitely going to win this battle. Red leaves of 10,000 kill! Yiling Hongye shouted. Within her red leaf domain, countless red leaves suddenly appeared and flew towards Xian Yanqing. Each of these red leaves was comparable to an incomparably sharp divine weapon, and their power was extremely terrifying. The power of a single piece was already very shocking. But now there were at least 10,000 pieces. With so many red leaves attacking at the same time, one could imagine how powerful they were. Moreover, within the red leaf domain, her attacks would be endless. Just as Xian Yanqing was about to be enveloped by the thousands of red leaves, a black halo suddenly appeared on Xian Yanqing's body. Moreover, the black halo was rapidly expanding. Let's see if your domain is more powerful than mine. Heavenly Demon Domain. Xian Yanqing shouted. The halo on his body was rapidly expanding, enveloping Yiling Hongye in an instant. ZZZ. The two domains collided and rubbed against each other, creating ear-piercing sounds. The void was distorted. The thousands of red leaves that were about to attack Xian Yanqing also stopped. They were suspended in mid-air, unable to move forward. You've also mastered a domain? Yiling Hongye's expression changed. 3 types of ultimate heavenly powers erupted wildly, merging into the red leaf domain, trying to break Xian Yanqing's heavenly demon domain. However, it was useless. The two domains continued to clash, but Xian Yanqing's heavenly demon domain did not budge. Your domain is only the Zo. Let me break your domain. Xian Yanqing said. Then, a black lotus appeared under her feet. Xian Yanqing sat cross-legged on the lotus. Her fingers formed a strange seal, and a huge figure appeared on her body. This figure was incomparably huge, but it was not Xian Yanqing's figure. It was a woman's figure, but her appearance could not be seen clearly because she was shrouded in demonic qi. As soon as this figure appeared, Xian Yanqing's heavenly demon domain became more powerful. Suddenly, it suppressed Yiling Hongye's red leaf domain, causing it to tremble and distort. Yiling Hongye's expression changed drastically, revealing a look of shock. In terms of domain, she was actually suppressed. Once her red leaf domain was broken, she would be enveloped by Xian Yanqing's heavenly demon domain. She would be in a passive position, and her chances of winning would plummet. Kill! Yiling Hongye shouted. 3 types of ultimate heavenly powers turned into 3 weapons, carrying her towards Xian Yanqing. She wanted to defeat Xian Yanqing in one fell swoop. As long as she defeated Xian Yanqing's domain would be broken. In the blink of an eye, Yiling Hongye was close to Xian Yanqing. At this time, Xian Yanqing also moved. She gently pressed out her right hand, and the huge figure also extended a hand and pressed forward, pressing down on Yiling Hongye. After the huge hand pressed out, it became incomparably black, as if it was formed by demonic qi. Heavenly Demon Palm. Boom! The huge demonic palm collided with Yiling Hongye, and there was an earth-shattering explosion. As the energy spread, Yiling Hongye's body frantically retreated. However, the heavenly demon palm did not stop. It continued to press down on Yiling Hongye. How is this possible? Yiling Hongye was extremely shocked. She found that she was no match for Xian Yanqing in a head-on confrontation. She was completely at a disadvantage. In the face of the heavenly demon palm, Yiling Hongye could only continue to use all her strength to resist. However, this time, she was even more embarrassed. She staggered back, her face pale. There was a sweet taste in her throat, and she spat out a mouthful of blood. This time, she was already injured. She had only taken 2 moves head-on, and she was already injured. Obviously, the gap between their strength was not small. Heavenly Demon Palm, suppress for me. Xian Yanqing shouted and continued to attack. The huge figure pressed out its palm again, and another huge heavenly demon palm pressed down on Yiling Hongye like a mountain. Rumble! Before the heavenly demon palm fell, the violent energy had already caused Yiling Hongye's face to change drastically. Clang! There was the sound of a sword. Yiling Hongye fully activated the 3 types of ultimate heavenly powers, and the 3 types of ultimate heavenly powers turned into a large number of blood-red leaves. These leaves intertwined to form a huge battle sword, slashing at the heavenly demon palm, trying to split it open. Bam! The 2 exchanged blows for the 3rd time, and the energy swept out in all directions. In the next moment, the battle sword formed by the blood-red leaves shook violently, and then exploded. The violent energy of the heavenly demon palm pressed down on Yiling Hongye. Puff! Yiling Hongye spat out a mouthful of blood. Her body flew back like a sack, and fell heavily on the fighting ring. After 3 moves, Yiling Hongye was severely injured. Chapter 44-32. Yiling Hongye was severely injured, and it was even harder for her to maintain the power of the red leaf field. The red leaf field was completely crushed by the heavenly demon field, and it kept collapsing. The power of the heavenly demon field was getting stronger and stronger. In the heavenly demon territory, black lotuses appeared one after another. They were densely packed and filled the void. Yiling Hongye's pupils shrank, and she looked terrified. I admit defeat. Yiling Hongye yelled and admitted defeat. There was no need to compete anymore. She knew that Xian Yanqing's combat strength was far above hers. If they continued, she might not be able to get out of the fighting ring, and she would be killed on the fighting ring. With Yiling Hongye's admission of defeat, Xian Yanqing won the battle. However, the result shocked everyone. Xian Yanqing won too easily. What terrifying combat strength! How can Xian Yanqing be so strong? He defeated Yiling Hongye in just a few moves? Could Xian Yanqing's combat strength have also reached 13 stars? Many people discussed in shock. Most importantly, Xian Yanqing had won too easily. How many moves had it been? He defeated Yiling Hongye in just a few moves, which showed the huge gap between them. No, it's not 13 stars. Xian Yanqing's combat strength hasn't reached 13 stars. It should be the limit of 12 stars. That's right. His combat strength should be at the limit of 12 stars, which is far above Yiling Hongye's. However, he shouldn't have won so quickly, mainly because Yiling Hongye was restrained. Both of them controlled fields, but Xian Yanqing's field was stronger, so Yiling Hongye was completely restrained, and her combat strength was greatly reduced. That's why he defeated her so easily. Some Divine Master-level existences spoke up and analyzed the issue thoroughly. The others were also enlightened. Xian Yanqing's combat strength was indeed above Yiling Hongye's, but it was obviously not normal for him to defeat her in just a few moves. The main reason was that Yiling Hongye was restrained. If Xian Yanqing fought Yi Chu Tianji, he wouldn't have won so easily. However, everyone was still shocked by Xian Yanqing's battle prowess. Such battle prowess was already extremely terrifying. From the looks of it now, it was only second to Yi Qiuxian and not weaker than the Dark Knight Rose who had unleashed her full battle prowess. No wonder Dark Knight Rose admitted defeat to Xian Yanqing. His combat strength was not inferior to Dark Knight Rose's at all. If he had some means to counter Dark Knight Rose's poison, then it was normal for Dark Knight Rose to be no match for him. What amazing combat strength! This time, Xian Yanqing will definitely have a place in the top 3. That's right. If it wasn't for Yi Qiuxian being so strong, she might even be able to fight for first place. There are too many experts this time. It's really shocking. Many people discussed in shock. Damn it, how is this possible? Yi Chu Tianji roared. He was the most shocked among the crowd. This was because he had fought with Xian Yanqing before. At that time, the two of them were evenly matched. Now that he thought about it, one reason was that he was not countered by Xian Yanqing. The other reason was that Xian Yanqing did not use his full strength at that time. He originally thought that he could be on par with Xian Yanqing. At least, he would not be at the bottom of the 12-star battle prowess. Now, he realized that he was gravely mistaken. This made him extremely unhappy. After this battle, there were a few more ordinary battles. When it was the 9th battle of the 11th round, it was finally a battle between 12-star battle prowess. Lu Ming against Dark Knight Rose. When the two of them stepped onto the fighting ring, many people were curious and expectant. They were all guessing who would win between Lu Ming and Dark Knight Rose. This was because the battle prowess of the participants had become clearer. Everyone was secretly guessing the specific ranking. For example, everyone was sure that Yi Qiuxian would be in first place. There was almost no suspense. The bottom two were Yi Chu Tianji and Yiling Hongya. As for Xian Yanqing and Dark Knight Rose, everyone believed that they would be in the top 4. The greater suspense was whether Lu Ming or Wan Shen would be in 5th place and not in the top 4. Now, Lu Ming was up against Dark Knight Rose. Many things could be seen from this battle. For example, Lu Ming was able to defeat Dark Knight Rose. Needless to say, he would definitely be in the top 4. If Lu Ming was not a match for Dark Knight Rose, it would depend on how far Lu Ming could fight Dark Knight Rose and how the battle prowess he displayed compared to Wan Shen. However, the crowd thought from another perspective. Even Xian Yanqing and Wan Shen had admitted defeat to Lu Ming. As long as Lu Ming was not too bad, he would basically be in the top 4. However, most people did not have high hopes for Lu Ming. They believed that Lu Ming was most likely not a match for Dark Knight Rose. The main reason was that the battle prowess Dark Knight Rose had displayed was too strong. She was definitely at the peak of 12-star. She had forced Yi Qiuxian to reveal his strongest battle prowess. It was very difficult to achieve such a level of battle prowess. Although Lu Ming had a taboo body, the chances of him having such battle prowess were very small. Hence, the crowd did not have high hopes for him. However, there were people who objected. They believed that although Lu Ming might not have the same battle prowess as Dark Knight Rose, he had a taboo body after all. The taboo power was the strongest power in the universe. Dark Knight Rose's heaven-devouring poison might not be able to do anything to the taboo power and would be countered by Lu Ming. It was hard to say who would win. Some people agreed with this view. On the battle stage, Dark Knight Rose looked at Lu Ming with a complicated expression. She said softly, "Lu Ming, I really didn't expect you to grow to this stage and even have a taboo body. If I had known, I would have eaten you no matter what." Ha ha ha. Lu Ming could not help but recall the first time he met Dark Knight Rose in the Taishu dynasty. At that time, Dark Knight Rose showed a strong desire for him, as if she really wanted to eat him. Unfortunately, you missed that chance. You won't have another chance. Lu Ming said lightly. Is that so? Dark Knight Rose's eyes flickered. She looked at Lu Ming and smiled sweetly. Lu Ming, I don't want to eat you anymore. What I want is a collaboration. Why don't you join us and fight with us? I'll give you whatever you want. As she said that, her beautiful eyes flashed with a strange light. Anyone could understand what she meant. Many young men began to breathe heavily. In different directions, Xian Yanqing, Autumn Moon, and Ling Yue's gazes all fell on Lu Ming. They wanted to see Lu Ming's reaction. Lu Ming was expressionless. His current mental fortitude was extremely strong. Although Dark Knight Rose was extremely tempting, it could no longer shake his heart. Dark Knight Rose, cut the crap. Do you want to admit defeat, or do you want me to do it? Lu Ming said coldly. Sigh, how unromantic. Dark Knight Rose sighed and said, although the taboo power is powerful, it also depends on the person who uses it. In the hands of different people, the difference in power is like heaven and earth. I would like to see how powerful the taboo power you use is. Before she finished speaking, Dark Knight Rose had already rushed towards Lu Ming. Chapter 44-33. The Dark Knight Rose dashed toward Lu Ming at an alarming speed. In the process of dashing out, her body was already filled with a rich dark golden glow. Afterward, a rose appeared from within the glow. Dark Knight Rose turned into her original form and pushed her combat strength to the limit. The rose grew rapidly, and the glow filled the sky. The center of the flower was like a huge black hole. It was so dark that one couldn't see the bottom. A powerful devouring force was constantly erupting from it. Hoo! The terrifying devouring force shrouded Lu Ming. At the same time, dark golden rays flew towards Lu Ming like sharp blades. Facing Dark Knight Rose's torrential attacks, Lu Ming was calm. He activated his taboo energy and condensed a long spear in his hand. Whoosh! The long spear shook and stabbed forward. In an instant, dozens of spear shadows flew out and blocked Dark Knight Rose's attacks. Even the powerful devouring force had a few holes in it. Devour! Dark Knight Rose shouted. The rose was still growing. At this moment, it had already covered the entire fighting stage. The huge black hole in the flower was aimed at Lu Ming. The devouring force was constantly erupting, trying to devour Lu Ming. This devouring power was extremely terrifying. If an ordinary expert were to face this devouring power, they would be torn to pieces in an instant, not to mention resisting it. However, Lu Ming wasn't an ordinary expert. He successfully blocked the devouring force. His body was like a nail nailed to the fighting stage. He didn't move at all. He only used his long spear to resist the dark golden glow. In an instant, the two sides had exchanged dozens of blows. At this moment, Lu Ming was completely shrouded in the dark golden glow. Not only that, but the pores on his body were also emitting a dark golden glow. Poison! Lu Ming's body had already been poisoned. Devour! Dark Knight Rose shouted. She controlled the poison, trying to devour Lu Ming's strength. However, in the next moment, Dark Knight Rose's face darkened. She realized that her heaven-devouring poison couldn't shake Lu Ming's taboo energy at all. Although she had expected it, she was still very disappointed when it actually happened. Dark Knight Rose. So this is your heaven-devouring poison. Now it's my turn. Lu Ming's voice sounded. Previously, he had been passively defending and did not launch too strong of an attack because he wanted to test just how powerful the heaven-devouring poison was. It was capable of devouring absolute heavenly energy. However, it was unable to devour perfect heavenly energy. Thus, he wanted to see if the heaven-devouring acute poison was capable of devouring forbidden heavenly energy. This way, he would be able to determine which was stronger between the taboo energy and perfect heaven's energy. Reality proved that the taboo energy was strong enough, definitely not weaker than perfect heaven's power. It successfully blocked the heaven-devouring poison. The heaven-devouring poison couldn't shake the forbidden power. Since he had already tested it out, there was no need to continue. It was time to counterattack. Boom! A powerful aura erupted from Lu Ming's body. A spear light soared into the sky and pierced through the firmament. The spear light grew larger and larger, piercing towards the gigantic heaven-devouring wild rose, wanting to pierce through it. The spear light was huge and indomitable, shocking everyone. What a terrifying attack! What a terrifying power! This power has already reached the limit of 12-star battle prowess. It definitely doesn't feel any weaker than Xian Yanqing's battle prowess. Amazing! There are too many experts this time. At the scene, many people sucked in a breath of cold air and discussed excitedly. That's right, Lu Ming still hadn't revealed his 13-star battle prowess. The battle prowess that he unleashed was the limit of 12-star battle prowess. This was because there was no need to reveal his 13-star battle prowess to deal with Dark Knight Rose. Devour! Dark Knight Rose still didn't want to give up and wanted to resist. She activated the devouring force with all her might. In the middle of the flower, the black hole spun wildly. The violent devouring force erupted like a huge mouth, wanting to devour Lu Ming's spear light. At this moment, The indomitable spear light also blasted into the center of the flower. Rumble! A series of violent roars sounded. The wild rose trembled continuously and then began to explode. One by one, the wild rose withered and flew out. With a final boom, the wild rose completely exploded, revealing Dark Knight Rose's figure again. However, at this moment, Dark Knight Rose's face was pale and there was blood at the corner of her mouth. She had been severely injured by the previous attack. As expected, Dark Knight Rose is no match for him. She's going to lose. The most terrifying thing about Dark Knight Rose is her poison. Coupled with that poison, her battle prowess is at the limit of 12-star battle prowess. However, when the poison loses its effect, her battle prowess will be greatly reduced. It's normal that she isn't a match for Lu Ming. From the looks of it, the second place belongs to Lu Ming. The crowd discussed animatedly. In their hearts, there was a change in the ranking. Lu Ming's battle prowess was beyond everyone's imagination. He was stronger than they expected and defeated Dark Knight Rose head-on. Among the crowd, Yi Qiuxian was definitely stronger than Lu Ming. Other than Yi Qiuxian, Xian Yanqing's battle prowess might not be weaker than Lu Ming's. However, Xian Yanqing had already surrendered in front of Lu Ming previously. Therefore, Lu Ming was already certain that he would be in second place. In the midst of the crowd's discussion, Lu Ming had already stepped forward. The long spear in his hand was buzzing as he locked onto Dark Knight Rose. A powerful aura was constantly exerting pressure on Dark Knight Rose. I admit defeat. In the end, Dark Knight Rose shook her head gently and admitted defeat. It was obvious who was stronger and who was weaker. There was no need for another battle. Dark Knight Rose admitted defeat and left the fighting ring. She returned to the lotus flower. Just like that, Lu Ming won all 11 battles and obtained 11 consecutive victories. Until now, only 2 people had obtained 11 consecutive victories. They were Lu Ming and Yi Qiuxian. The specific ranking can be guessed. That's right. There's no doubt that Yi Qiuxian will be in first place. As for Lu Ming, there's also no doubt that he will be in second place. In addition, Xian Yanqing and Dark Knight Rose should be in third and fourth place respectively. It's hard to say who will be in fourth place. Wan Xun's strength is unfathomable. He might not lose even if he hasn't fought Dark Knight Rose before. That's right. I think so too. It's hard to say who will be in fourth place. However, there shouldn't be much change in the other rankings. The crowd was discussing the specific ranking again. Am I in second place? Lu Ming muttered in his heart. The corner of his mouth curled into an expectant smile and a strong fighting spirit. Second place wasn't his goal. His goal was to be in first place. Although Yi Qiuxian had a battle prowess of 13 stars, so did Yi Qiuxian. They would only know who was stronger after a battle. After a few more battles, the 11th round came to an end. Soon, it was the 12th round. Not long after the 12th round began, there was a battle between 12 stars of battle prowess. They were Yi Chu Tianji and Yi Ling Hongye, the tragic heavenly daughter of heaven. Chapter 44-34. Yi Chu Tianji and Yi Ling Hongye were almost certain to be the last 2 among the 7 12-star combatants. Now, it was time to see who would be 6th and who would be 7th. Neither of them wanted to be 7th, so they engaged in an intense battle. However, they were old rivals. They had fought many times in the past for the top spot of the heavenly human tribe. Every time, there was no clear winner. This time was no different. The 2 of them fought fiercely for more than 1,000 rounds, but there was still no clear winner. Both of them were exhausted and the battle ended in a draw. After this battle, there were a few more battles. Finally, there was a battle that everyone wanted to see. It was the battle between Wan Shen and Dark Knight Rose. This was the battle that everyone had been looking forward to for a long time. This battle would show who would be in the top 4. Without any superfluous words, Wan Shen and Dark Knight Rose engaged in an intense battle. Wan Shen was definitely powerful. He was born from the flesh and blood of many primordial divine spirits. He had unparalleled talent and was born with the strongest and most primordial divine power. In addition to his powerful primordial divine body, he had dozens of origin source secret techniques. He was like an invincible war machine. However, the origin of the Sky Devourer Rose was even more shocking. The Sky Devourer poison was extremely terrifying. In the entire universe, there were few powers that it could not devour. Even though Wan Shen's divine power was strong and condensed, it was still restrained by the Sky Devourer poison. As the battle dragged on, the divine power in his body was constantly being devoured. His strength continued to weaken until he was defeated by Dark Knight Rose. Dark Knight Rose won this battle. After this battle, although the battle was not over, everyone had a clear ranking in their hearts. First place, Yi Qiuxian. Second place, Lu Ming. Third place, Xian Yanqing. Fourth place, Dark Knight Rose. Fifth place, Wan Shen. The last two were Yi Chu Tianji and Yi Ling Hongya. Therefore, the crowd wasn't that interested in the rest of the competition because the final result was within their expectations. For example, in the 13th round, Lu Ming fought Yi Ling Hongya. There was almost no suspense. If Lu Ming could easily defeat Yi Chu Tianji, he could also easily defeat Yi Ling Hongya. There was another battle, Yi Qiuxian against Wan Shen. Although the outcome of this battle was within everyone's expectations, the battle at the beginning was still very exciting. Yi Qiuxian did not unleash his 13-star battle strength at the start. Instead, he used 12-star strength to fight Wan Shen. Myriad God was extremely powerful. After exchanging more than 100 blows with Yi Qiuxian was still unable to do anything to Myriad God. And Yi Qiuxian had to use his perfect heaven's power to defeat Wan Shen. On the 14th round, Wan Shen defeated Yi Ling Hongya without much suspense. There was another match, Yi Qiuxian vs Xian Yanqing. In this battle, Yi Qiuxian used his full strength right from the start. 4 types of utmost heaven powers burst forth. Xian Yanqing was even more straightforward. He directly admitted defeat and didn't even fight. Xian Yanqing was very clear that although she had many tricks up her sleeve, she was absolutely no match for Yi Qiuxian. Soon, they entered the 15th round. In the 15th round, there was only one battle between 12-star battle prowess. That was Dark Knight Rose vs Yi Chu Tianji. Of course, there was no suspense. Dark Knight Rose won. The other matches were all between 11 stars of battle prowess or 11 stars of battle prowess against 12 stars of battle prowess. Lu Ming and the other 12-star battle strength won easily. They did not even have to fight. Their opponents admitted defeat. Then they entered the 16th round. In this round, there was only one battle between 12 stars of battle prowess. Xian Yanqing against Yi Chu Tianji. Xian Yanqing won without any surprise. After this battle, among the 12-star battle strength, only Lu Ming and Yi Qiuxian did not fight. It was unknown if it was a coincidence or deliberately arranged. The two of them did not meet in the next few rounds. They did not meet in the 17th round, 18th round, 19th round. There were a total of 21 people. Each of them had to fight others. There would be a total of 20 rounds. When it was the last round, the 20th round, Lu Ming and Yi Qiuxian finally faced each other. Moreover, it was the first battle of the 20th round. Everyone was a little excited. Do you think Lu Ming will fight with Yi Qiuxian or admit defeat? Someone asked. I think there will definitely be a battle. Legend has it that the taboo constitution is a natural enemy of the heavenly palace. If he doesn't even dare to fight and admits defeat, it will be a big blow to the morale of the Heaven Destroyer. It will also weaken the invincibility of the taboo constitution. I think so too. Even if he can't win, he will definitely fight. Anyway, he won't really die here. He can also train himself. Many people felt that Lu Ming was most likely not a match for Yi Qiuxian. However, he would choose to fight. He would not run away or back down. You're half right. I won't back down and I will win. Lu Ming smiled. He took a step forward and landed on the fighting ring from the lotus. At the same time, Yi Qiuxian also got on the fighting ring. Lu Ming, you won't admit defeat? Yi Qiuxian's first sentence was to ask Lu Ming to admit defeat. No one in this world can make me admit defeat, including you. Lu Ming replied calmly. Haha, is that so? That's great. Let me kill a taboo constitution with my own hands. Although you won't really die here, as he spoke, Yi Qiuxian's eyes shone with a fiery light. Since ancient times, the taboo constitution had been the nemesis of the heavenly palace. For example, the life spirit, the lord of the heavenly court, the lord of the grand ancient celestial court, Fei Huang, Tang Feng. These people were the nemesis of the heavenly palace. They had caused great losses to the heavenly palace. All the heavenly humans wanted to kill the taboo constitution. Now that he had the chance, how could he not be excited? You want to kill me? Yi Qiuxian, I'm afraid you don't have the ability. Lu Ming replied indifferently. He was in high spirits and was very confident. Don't have the ability? Ha ha ha, Lu Ming. Show me what you've got. I know you haven't used your full strength before. Let's see how many moves you can take from me. Yi Qiuxian laughed and took a step forward. A violent aura erupted like a volcano. 4 types of supreme heavenly forces appeared and formed a huge battle sword. It slashed down at Lu Ming. The battle sword slashed down as if it wanted to split the entire space into 2. It was extremely powerful. If they were outside the chaotic universe, this sword would definitely be able to split the starry sky into 2 and destroy countless planets. Lu Ming squinted his eyes. A long spear formed in his hand. Then, the long spear started to spin rapidly. It shot up into the sky like a drill and rushed towards Yi Qiuxian's battle sword. Clang! Boom! The 2 attacks collided. In an instant, the void shook violently. A destructive force swept out in all directions. Chapter 44-35. Fortunately, there was an invisible barrier around the fighting ring that blocked the energy that was sweeping in all directions. Bas! The long spear that Lu Ming had formed vibrated continuously before collapsing. Then, Lu Ming's body was pushed back until he reached the edge of the fighting ring before he could stabilize himself. His face was a little pale and the blood in his body was in turmoil. He almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Lu Ming, is this your full combat strength? If this is all you have, I'm really disappointed. You can't even take 3 of my moves. Yi Qiuxian said coldly. There is indeed a huge gap between 12-star and 13-star combat strength. Lu Ming muttered in his heart. Just now, he had not used his full strength and had only displayed the maximum combat strength of 12-star combat strength. When he exchanged blows with Yi Qiuxian, he was indeed at a disadvantage. What's the hurry? I was just testing the waters. Now, it's my turn to attack. Sky-splitting form, kill. Lu Ming growled as the battle character art and taboo energy were fully unleashed. At the same time, he used the sky-splitting form and spear radiance emanated from every pore of his body. Swoosh! He turned into a dazzling spear radiance and pierced towards Yi Qiuxian. This spear was stunning and extremely stunning. It was as though it could pierce through the universe and destroy everything in its path. Its power was much stronger than Lu Ming's previous attacks. When this spear was unleashed, the surrounding spectators were shocked and their eyes widened. Oh my god, this power! Could this be 13-star combat strength? A few exclamations were heard and their voices were filled with disbelief. At this moment, Yi Qiuxian's eyes were filled with excitement. Interesting, interesting. Come on. Yi Qiuxian roared as his perfect heavenly powers erupted. This time, 4 battle swords formed around his body. Each of the supreme powers of the heavens formed a battle sword. The 4 battle swords took turns flying towards Lu Ming. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. The first of the 4 battle swords had already neared Lu Ming. With a loud boom, it collided with Lu Ming. This time, the explosion was earth-shattering. Sword chi and spear radiance swept out in all directions. Wang! Yi Qiuxian's first battle sword trembled incessantly before finally collapsing. However, the second sword immediately rushed forward. 4 consecutive swords clashed with Lu Ming. In the end, Yi Qiuxian's 4 swords were all destroyed by Lu Ming. Yi Qiuxian's body staggered backwards. However, the spear light on Lu Ming's body was also destroyed. His body shook violently as he retreated backwards. This move was evenly matched. So you've been hiding your strength. You've actually reached 13-star battle prowess. Yi Qiuxian stared at Lu Ming. His eyes were burning with passion, and his battle intent was extremely strong. It's lonely at the top. Invincible is lonely. Previously, Yi Qiuxian had always had this feeling. In a battle of the same level, there was no one in the entire universe who could match him. It was as if he was the only one standing at the top, overlooking the thousands of other geniuses. This made him feel lonely. Now, after seeing Lu Ming unleash a 13-star battle prowess, he instead felt a sense of excitement. At his level, having an opponent could stimulate his motivation and allow him to continuously improve. In fact, Lu Ming also had this feeling. Therefore, he had already revealed a strong battle intent. At this moment, the surrounding people were in a state of shock. Oh my god, it's really 13-star battle prowess. Lu Ming has 13-star battle prowess. He's been hiding his strength all this while. Terrifying, too terrifying. This is crazy. There are actually two 13-star battle prowess people in the same era. Looking at the entire history of the Eldritch universe, this has only happened a few times. Looking at the entire history of the Eldritch universe, such a grand occasion only happened when the universe was first formed or 60 stellar years ago. Is the taboo body really that terrifying? Many people found it hard to calm down. They were discussing excitedly and expressing their opinions. This kid. The divine masters and heavenly venerables of the heavenly human tribe had ugly expressions on their faces. They looked at Lu Ming eerily, revealing a strong battle intent. Lu Ming's battle prowess was truly beyond their expectations. Not every taboo body could be so powerful. In history, the taboo body had not appeared many times, but it was not rare either. Some taboo bodies had fallen before they reached the great accomplishment stage. They did not become famous in the Eldritch universe and were passed down through the ages. In the history of the Eldritch universe, there were four most famous taboo bodies. One was the Life Spirit, the Lord of the Heavenly Court, and the other was the Lord of the Primordial Divine Court. The other two were Fei Huang and Tang Feng. However, these four most famous taboo bodies could not all reach 13-star battle prowess when they were in the Divine Emperor realm. In fact, there was only one person who could surpass 12-star battle prowess and reach 13-star battle prowess in the Divine Emperor realm. That was Tang Feng. The other three did not surpass 12-star battle prowess. They were all at the limit of 12-star battle prowess. Therefore, no one would have thought that Lu Ming could reach 13-star battle prowess before. Even if they knew that the taboo body was very powerful, they would at most think that Lu Ming's battle prowess was at the limit of 12-star battle prowess. The limit of 12-star battle prowess was still acceptable. However, 13-star battle prowess was terrifying. They had to get rid of him. Once such a person reached the great accomplishment stage, it would be a disaster for the Heavenly Palace. Take Tang Feng for example. Many heavenly human tribe experts had died in his hands back then. Until now, many heavenly human tribe members would feel fear at the mention of the taboo sword ancestor Tang Feng's name. They did not want another taboo sword ancestor. Damn it, how could it be? Why is it like this? Yi Chu Tianji, Yi Ling Hongye, Yi Chu Chenyue, and the other heavenly human tribe geniuses who had conflicts with Lu Ming were trembling. Their eyes were full of disbelief. Unwillingness, doubt, and even fear emerged from their hearts. Lu Ming, Di Jenny whispered. The battle sword on his back kept buzzing and jumping. There was also a strong sword intent on his body. However, it was hidden in the end. There was a trace of unwillingness in his eyes. He had always regarded Lu Ming as his opponent and wanted to defeat Lu Ming. However, he now realized that the gap between him and Lu Ming was too big. There was a huge gap between 11-star battle prowess and 13-star battle prowess that was difficult to cross. No matter what his future achievements would be, at least in a battle of the same level, the gap between him and Lu Ming was too big. Anya Rose's delicate body was also trembling. Her eyes were flickering with shock, fear, and doubt. In her previous life, she was Tang Qing's pet and naturally knew Tang Feng. She had seen Tang Feng fight many times and knew how terrifying Tang Feng was. Was the current Lu Ming in existence like that? She kept thinking in her mind. No one knew what she was thinking. Ha ha, amazing. My brother is indeed different. Wan Shen laughed. Dandan and Bubbles also wanted to laugh, but because of their respective tribes, they had some scruples and forcibly held back what they wanted to say. Chapter 44-36. Young Master will always be number one. Qiu Yu said in a low voice, her beautiful eyes fixed on Lu Ming. There was no surprise in her eyes. Because in her heart, no matter when and no matter where, Lu Ming would always be the strongest and the most dazzling one. What she needed to do was to try her best to keep up with Lu Ming's footsteps and share some of the burden with Lu Ming. Xian Yanqing's face was calm. Everything was within her expectations. Ling Yuwei's expression was complicated. She looked at Lu Ming again and again. At this moment, Lu Ming became the focal point of the entire place. Just like when Yi Qiuxian revealed his 13-star battle strength. The battle intent in Yi Qiuxian's eyes grew stronger and stronger. The aura on his body also grew stronger. Around his body, the 4 battle swords condensed and revolved around him. Defeating you with your 13-star battle strength is meaningful. In the end, I will prove that I am number one, the true number one. Yi Qiuxian roared as his golden hair fluttered in the wind. His invincible belief was unwavering. Whoosh! He made his move again as he took a step forward. His body was like a ray of light as he charged towards Lu Ming. He held a battle sword in each hand as he slashed towards Lu Ming. The other two battle swords attacked in the air. The sky was filled with sword chi, and there were 4 different types of sword chi. Heaven's punishment, Heaven's extermination, Heaven's punishment, and Heaven's wrath. Boom! Lu Ming also unleashed his full strength as tens of thousands of light spots lit up all over his body. It was as if tens of thousands of stars were embedded in his body. Tens of thousands of secret techniques and taboo powers combined and exploded. They then gathered into a long spear that was held in Lu Ming's hand. Whoosh! Lu Ming charged towards Yi Qiuxian. The two figures met in the middle of the fighting stage with unparalleled power. Their attacks collided once again and a dazzling light exploded. This time, the two of them only swayed slightly before they started fighting again. Kill, kill, kill. Fight, fight, fight. The two of them roared as they fought. Powerful energy exploded as they charged towards each other. The two people's speed was swift to the extreme. In an instant, they clashed over 100 moves. Around them, many people widened their eyes and stared at them. They wanted to see who was stronger. Previously, practically everyone had thought that Yi Qiuxian would definitely obtain first place. But now, everyone dispelled this thought. Lu Ming also had 13-star battle prowess. It was hard to say who would win or lose. Only at the very end of the battle would the victor be decided. This battle would determine who would be number 1. Whoever won would be number 1. Whoever won would get the best position and be able to better connect to Universe Ocean. The fierce battle on the battle stage continued. In the blink of an eye, the two had already exchanged more than 300 moves, but there was still no clear winner. Boom! After another collision, the two of them retreated and stood facing each other. At this moment, the battle intent on their bodies had almost solidified. Their gazes were as sharp as divine light as they clashed in the void. Haha, very good. It has been a long time since someone forced me to this extent in a battle of the same level. This is the first time I've felt this way ever since I cultivated the perfect power of heaven. Now, I'm going to use my most powerful killer move to defeat you. Lu Ming, be proud of it. For Extinction Sky Sword Formation. Yi Qiuxian roared as 4 battle swords flew up into the sky. They formed a strange trajectory that was sometimes fast and sometimes slow. Lu Ming's pupils contracted. Yi Qiuxian had used this move before. But previously, it was just 3 types of supreme power of heaven that formed a sword formation. Its power was astonishing. But now it was 4 types of supreme power of heaven. A perfect sword formation formed by the power of heaven. How terrifying would its power be? Obviously, Yi Qiuxian had not used his full strength in the battle just now. Wang, 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 wang. The 4 battle swords vibrated and sword chi shot up into the sky. As they combined, a huge sword light was formed from the sword formation and slashed towards Lu Ming. Before the sword light arrived, Lu Ming could already feel the immense pressure. Sky-breaking style. Lu Ming immediately used his strongest secret skill. His body turned into a spear and clashed with Yi Qiuxian's sword light. Boom! A light pillar shot up into the sky as the spear light and the sword chi clashed. But after a few breaths, the sword chi suddenly surged and suppressed the spear light. The spear light was pushed back and finally, the sword chi wave hit the spear light completely. Bam! The spear light collapsed and Lu Ming's figure retreated. His face was a little pale and there was a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. Not good. The faces of the 10,000 gods, Autumn Moon, Xianyanqing, Dandan, Bubbles, and the others changed drastically. Lu Ming was at a disadvantage. On the other hand, those from the Heavenly Palace, especially those from the Heavenly Human Tribe, were ecstatic. Lu Ming is no match for him. He's going to lose. In the end, our Heavenly Human Tribe is still stronger. Yi Qiuxian is invincible. What taboo physique! It's nothing in front of our Heavenly Human Tribe. Many celestial beings shouted loudly, venting their own gloominess. Lu Ming, you're going to lose. Sword formation, rise. Yi Qiuxian shouted. His figure appeared in the middle of the 4 battle swords and appeared at the core of the sword formation. He formed a seal with both hands and this time, 4 huge sword lights were formed and slashed towards Lu Ming with unparalleled force. Lu Ming narrowed his eyes. His expression was extremely grave. He activated the energy in his body to the extreme. He squeezed out all his energy and continued to activate the heaven-splitting style. His entire being had completely transformed into a long spear, dashing toward the sky. Boom! The spear collided with one of the sword lights and there was an earth-shattering explosion. Then the spear vibrated and was sent flying. The second sword light had already slashed down. When the spear collided with the second sword light, the spear vibrated even more violently and was also sent flying. Then, the third and fourth sword lights slashed down one after another. The entire fighting ring was enveloped by the sword formation, and it was impossible to dodge. He could only take it head-on. Block it! Lu Ming roared and braced himself to block it. Boom! After two booming sounds, the long spear was cut into two at the waist. It then dissipated, revealing Lu Ming's true body. Lu Ming's body smashed into the fighting ring like a cannonball, causing the fighting ring to shake violently. Lu Ming spat out a few mouthfuls of blood and his face was pale. There were several sword wounds on his body. The wounds were very deep and even his bones were broken. His body was almost cut into several pieces. Energy constantly flowed out of the 60 trillion cells in his body, repairing his injuries. However, his aura was still a little weak. That move just now had seriously injured him. At least a few trillion cells had been annihilated in an instant. What a terrifying power. Yi Qiuxian's full power is almost at the peak of 13 star. Lu Ming thought to himself and his face was extremely solemn. His battle prowess had just reached 13 star. The power of Yi Qiuxian's 4 extinction heavenly sword formation was almost at the peak of 13 star. Such combat strength was completely above Lu Ming's. What should I do? Lu Ming's mind raced as he tried to think of a solution. Chapter 44-37. Lu Ming quickly thought of a countermeasure. Yi Qiuxian's 4 extinction heavenly sword formation was simply too powerful. It had already surpassed Lu Ming's current combat strength. With Lu Ming's current combat strength, he wouldn't be a match for Yi Qiuxian even if he went all out. If this continued, he would only lose. Lu Ming, young master, Xian Yanqing, Autumn Moon, Dandan Bubbles, and the others were all worried. As for the heavenly human tribe, especially those who had a grudge against Lu Ming, they were overjoyed and laughed loudly. Yes, that's the way. Kill him, no, cripple him. Cripple his cultivation, cripple him. Gabbert roared with bloodshot eyes and a ferocious expression. His face was filled with excitement and anticipation. His angelic wings had been torn by Lu Ming, and his talent and potential had been greatly reduced. It could be said that he hated Lu Ming to the core. At this moment, seeing that Lu Ming was completely at a disadvantage, he was extremely excited. He was looking forward to Yi Qiuxian being able to cripple Lu Ming and avenge him. Lu Ming, it seems like you don't want to admit defeat. Come at me again. Yi Qiuxian roared and activated his sword formation. Another 4 huge sword lights slashed towards Lu Ming. The sword gleams were huge. They charged toward Lu Ming from all 4 directions of the fighting ring. Their speed was extremely fast, completely covering all directions. Lu Ming used his body movement to avoid the 4 beams of sword gleams. However, he realized that it was futile. This was because this area was filled with terrifying sword gleams. No matter which direction or where he dashed from, he would be hit by the violent sword aura. There was no way to evade. Sky-breaking stance. Lu Ming roared and used the sky-breaking stance again. As Lu Ming continued to use the sky-breaking stance, his understanding of the sky-breaking stance deepened and its power gradually increased. However, he still couldn't stop Yi Qiuxian's attack. Boom, 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 boom. After a series of explosions, Lu Ming was defeated once again. His body smashed onto the battle platform and he spat out a mouthful of blood. There were several more terrifying wounds on his body. This was also because his vitality was extremely strong. If it were anyone else, they would already have no strength to continue fighting. Outside the fighting ring, Xian Yanqing and the others looked at Lu Ming worriedly. Young master will definitely win. Definitely. Autumn Moon muttered under his breath. He clenched his fists so tightly that his knuckles turned white. Although she trusted Lu Ming very much, the worry in her eyes was no less than that of the others. Is there any other way for me to increase my combat strength? Even now, Lu Ming still hadn't given up. He stared at Yi Qiuxian with bright eyes as he thought of a countermeasure. To be honest, Yi Qiuxian was indeed very strong. Ever since Lu Ming started cultivating, Yi Qiuxian was the strongest among his peers. He had never fought so hard against an opponent of the same level. Yi Qiuxian, who controlled the perfect power of heaven, was truly the strongest in the universe. The perfect power of heaven was said to be able to suppress even taboos. Only very few taboos could contend against it. This wasn't just a saying, it was really too strong. Of course, there was another reason. Yi Qiuxian had probably reached the 13-star level for a long time. The 4-extinction heavenly sword formation had been cultivated to the great success stage. Its power was extremely shocking, causing Yi Qiuxian's combat strength to almost reach the pinnacle of the 13-star level. As for Lu Ming, it hadn't been long since he reached the 13-star level, so he didn't have much time to strengthen himself. If Lu Ming was given more time to cultivate more secret techniques, then his combat strength would increase even more. It wouldn't be impossible for him to reach the limit of the 13-star level. Lu Ming's disadvantage was that the time he had to cultivate was too short. After all, when he entered the Taishang Immortal City, he was only a deity emperor, not a divine emperor. As for Yi Qiuxian, when he entered the Taishang Immortal City, he had already reached the 6th layer of the divine emperor realm. He had even accumulated a lot of energy, and could break through to the divine master realm at any time. In fact, many of the people fighting for the origin seeds had already reached the peak of the 9th layer of the divine emperor realm. They could already break through to the divine master realm. Yi Qiuxian, Yi Chu-Tianji and Yi Ling Hongye were the same. Xian Yanqing and Dark Knight Rose were also the same. After all, when they entered the Taishang Immortal City, their cultivation had already reached the 6th or 7th layer of the divine emperor realm. After entering the Taishang Immortal City, with the help of the Desolate Pill, their cultivation had already reached the 9th layer of the divine emperor realm. The reason why they hadn't broken through was because they had deliberately suppressed their cultivation. Once they broke through to the divine master realm, they would only be a low-level divine master. How could they compete with the Lord of Heaven? Therefore, they had deliberately suppressed their cultivation to the peak of the 9th layer of the divine emperor realm. Their goal was to fight for the origin seeds. As long as they could condense the origin seeds, once they broke through to the divine master realm, their cultivation would increase quickly. Lu Ming had broken through to the 9th layer of the divine emperor realm from the peak of the divine emperor realm in a short period of time. However, it was normal that his battle strength was not as strong as Yi Qiuxian's. Lu Ming, I'll give you a chance. Admit defeat. Yi Qiuxian floated in the air, looking down at Lu Ming from above. He was not in a hurry to attack. He wanted Lu Ming to admit defeat. He wanted to attack Lu Ming's invincible belief. People like them had always been invincible. They had accumulated the belief that they were invincible. This belief allowed them to show off their abilities. They could cut through all obstacles, break through, move forward, and cut through all obstacles. However, once they admitted defeat in front of others, their invincible belief would be severely damaged. In the future, their cultivation and breakthroughs would not be so smooth. This move could be said to be ruthless. He wanted to attack Lu Ming's foundation. Once Lu Ming admitted defeat, Lu Ming would no longer be a threat to Yi Qiuxian. Yi Qiuxian could suppress Lu Ming for the rest of his life. Admitting defeat and being defeated were two different things. It was normal to be defeated. It was normal to be weaker than others. Some people could become stronger after a setback. But if he admitted defeat, it would mean that he was denying himself, and his sharpness would be thwarted. You want me to admit defeat? Yi Qiuxian, you're not qualified. Lu Ming shouted. His body stood up again, tall and straight like a mountain peak. You overestimate yourself. Then I'll kill you on the fighting stage. I'll let the world know that the taboo body is nothing more than this. Kill. Yi Qiuxian shouted coldly. The sword formation was activated. For huge sword lights formed again and slashed down at Lu Ming. What should I do? Lu Ming furrowed his brows tightly, pondering continuously in his mind. In an instant, dozens of ideas came to mind. However, they were all rejected by Lu Ming. The reason for that was because none of those methods would be able to stop Yi Qiuxian, nor would they be able to match him. The sword lights were about to slash down. Right, Qi cultivation art. Suddenly, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He thought of Qi cultivation art. Although he was in his present body, and did not cultivate Qi cultivation art. Back when he was in the 5 Elements Immortal Mountain, he had comprehended the hieroglyphs on the Golden Wall. Chapter 4438. The hieroglyphs on the golden wall of the 5 Elements Immortal Mountain were a type of chi refinement art. It was equivalent to the secret arts of the primitive universe. That kind of chi refinement art was mysterious and powerful. However, given Lu Ming's inherent mindset, he had been using the taboo force and the ancient secret skills that he had mastered during the battle. For a moment, he did not think of the chi refinement technique at all. Now that he thought of it, Lu Ming decided to give it a try. There was no time to hesitate. Lu Ming quickly formed hand seals with his hands. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. His fingers were like blooming lotuses. A strange wave spread out from his hand. Then, a ball of flame suddenly condensed, and it quickly grew bigger. Finally, the flame was like a sun. It shone brightly and emitted a terrifying heat. It collided with Yi Qiuxian's sword light. Boom! There was an earth-shattering explosion. Scorching flames covered the entire fighting stage. Then the flames exploded. However, Yi Qiuxian's sword light also collapsed. It's effective. I blocked it. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. However, Yi Qiuxian's face darkened. He let out a low roar and the other 3 sword lights were about to hit him. However, Lu Ming's fingers did not stop. He continued to form hand seals for chi refinement art. At that moment, the sound of a sword could be heard. 3 sword lights were condensed between Lu Ming's fingers. They shot up to the sky and slashed at Yi Qiuxian's 3 sword lights. There were 3 consecutive explosions. The 6 sword lights collided with each other and released billions of sword chi. In the end, Yi Qiuxian's 3 sword lights were blocked. The 6 sword lights disappeared at the same time. What? The surrounding people stared with their eyes wide open in disbelief. Lu Ming actually blocked Yi Qiuxian's attack? Just now, Lu Ming was clearly at a disadvantage. He was no match for Yi Qiuxian. After Yi Qiuxian used the 4 extinction heavenly sword formation, each of his attacks caused Lu Ming to be severely injured. But now, Lu Ming suddenly burst out and blocked Yi Qiuxian's sword formation. Could it be that Lu Ming had been hiding his strength? How was that possible? He was already severely injured, yet he was still hiding his strength? What kind of technique is Lu Ming using? It looks very mysterious, but also very unfamiliar. It doesn't seem like any kind of secret technique. Some people were puzzled. Even though the attack was very similar to many of the secret techniques that were currently being used, Zhang Xian's attack was very similar to that of many secret techniques. But only on the surface. The fluctuations produced by Lu Ming's hand seals were incomparably mysterious and unfamiliar. Many people couldn't recognize them. That seems to be a chi refinement art from the last era. Could it be that Lu Ming has mastered a chi refinement art? Someone cried out in alarm, finding it hard to believe. There were many experts at the scene. There were also divine masters of the heavenly human tribe and even heavenly venerables. These people had explored the ruins of the universe and entered the ruins left behind by the previous epoch. They were experienced and knowledgeable, so they immediately recognized that Lu Ming's attack came from the previous epoch. You're talking about the chi refinement attack technique? How is that possible? When the others heard this, they were also in disbelief. After reaching the Divine Emperor and Divine Emperor level, the existing cultivation methods had already been stabilized. It was almost impossible to cultivate a chi refinement art at the same time. It was too difficult. Countless people had tried, but only a few of them could even scratch the surface. However, Lu Ming had mastered a kind of chi refinement attack technique, which was really shocking. How powerful! This chi refinement attack technique is actually so powerful. It's even stronger than my current sky-breaking form. Lu Ming was also shocked at first, but then he was overjoyed. This meant that he had another powerful trump card. However, Yi Qiuxian's face darkened. So what if it's a chi refinement attack technique? My perfect power of heaven and my 4-Ju heavenly sword array can cut through everything. Kill! Yi Qiuxian shouted. 4 kinds of supreme power of heaven burst out and rushed into the 4-Ju heavenly sword array. Buzz! The 4 battle swords kept vibrating and 4 huge sword rays slashed towards Lu Ming. Come on! Lu Ming was excited. His body soared into the sky and his hands quickly formed the hieroglyph seal. This time, it was no longer flames and battle swords. Instead, a few goshawks were formed. They looked up to the sky and let out a long cry. Their sharp claws pierced through the air and grabbed at the 4 sword rays. Another series of explosions rang out. Several of the goshawks were defeated. However, Yi Qiuxian's 4 sword lights were also defeated. Yi Qiuxian's attack was blocked once again. It could not do anything to Lu Ming. Damn it. I don't believe it. Continue, slash again. Yi Qiuxian shouted and continued to activate the sword array. Another 4 sword rays were slashed out. As for Lu Ming, he continued to form seals. This time, a tall mountain emerged and filled the sky, successfully blocking the 4 sword gleams. Ha ha ha, the Qi refinement attack technique contained in the hieroglyph seal is really mysterious. It's unpredictable and contains endless mysteries. I'm still far from mastering it. Lu Ming laughed in his heart. He was extremely carefree. The golden light wall of the 5 elements Immortal Mountain didn't contain just 1 or 2 hieroglyph seals. There were many of them. Every hieroglyph seal was a transformation. Therefore, this Qi refinement attack technique contained many transformations. Lu Ming counted carefully. It contained a total of 72 transformations. Moreover, he had a feeling that the more he used it, the more proficient he became. Yi Qiuxian, continue! Lu Ming shouted. This time, he took the initiative to attack. He formed seals and drew the power of heaven and earth. It turned into a battle sword and slashed at Yi Qiuxian's head. Lu Ming intended to use Yi Qiuxian to train his control of the Qi refinement attack technique. After all, he had only comprehended it for a while under the golden light wall. He then used it to break through the golden light wall and entered the golden light wall. After that, he had not used it again. It was inevitable that he would feel a little rusty when he suddenly used it. Yi Qiuxian was no doubt a very good opponent. He could stimulate his potential to the maximum. Damn it! Yi Qiuxian shouted angrily and activated the sword formation. Sword lights slashed at Lu Ming. Boom! The 2 of them exchanged a blow and retreated. However, in the next moment, Lu Ming attacked again. The 2 of them exchanged blows and fought continuously. Soon, they had exchanged dozens of blows. As they continued to exchange blows, Lu Ming became more and more proficient in using the weapon refinement attack technique contained in the hieroglyph seal. His control also became more and more exquisite. As his control deepened, the power naturally became stronger. Gradually, Lu Ming began to suppress Yi Qiuxian. Yi Qiuxian kept retreating. Seeing this, Xian Yanqing, Qiu Moon, and the others were naturally ecstatic. As for the heavenly human tribe and those who had a grudge against Lu Ming, they were furious. They could not accept this. Impossible, I will not lose. 4 ultimate heavenly sword formation. Explode! Yi Qiuxian roared. He looked a little crazy. He no longer activated the sword gleam. Instead, he personally wiped the 4 battle swords that were condensed from the supreme power of heaven and slashed toward Lu Ming. Boom! When the first ultimate heavenly sword slashed at Lu Ming, it exploded. Yi Qiuxian was going all out. He controlled the ultimate heavenly sword to self-destruct, creating a terrifying power. Chapter 44-39. The first sword was formed by the heavenly punishment energy. When it exploded, the entire area was drowned in pure white lightning. Lu Ming's body was wrapped in layers of lightning. Sizzle! Countless lightning bolts flickered with shocking power. Every single one of them could destroy a planet in the chaotic universe. With so many lightning bolts exploding at the same time, the power was imaginable. However, Yi Qiuxian was still worried. He continued to brush past the second combat sword. The combat sword that was condensed from the power of heavenly extermination charged toward Lu Ming before exploding again. Before the heavenly punishment energy dissipated, the terrifying heavenly extermination energy charged towards Lu Ming and drowned Lu Ming. Xian Yanqing, Qiu Yu, and the others couldn't help but worry. More people opened their eyes wide and stared at Lu Ming curiously. They wanted to see if he would be killed. Now, Lu Ming was completely shrouded in the light of the heavenly punishment energy. No one could see what was happening inside. They could only guess if Lu Ming could withstand it or not. However, they soon discovered a problem. That meant that Lu Ming was not dead. Once Lu Ming was killed, he would be revived on the lotus. However, Lu Ming's lotus did not appear. This meant that Lu Ming was not killed. Damn it! Continue to explode. Explode all of them. Yi Qiuxian roared. He charged towards Lu Ming with the last 2 swords and exploded them. The heavenly punishment energy and heavenly extermination energy drowned Lu Ming. Huff! Yi Qiuxian panted heavily. His face was pale, but his eyes were fixed on the other side. Exploding the four-extinction heavenly sword formation took a huge toll on Yi Qiuxian. Although he was not injured, the consumption of heavenly punishment energy was shocking. It would be difficult for him to continue to form the sword formation and explode it in a short period of time. He hoped that this move would be able to kill Lu Ming. At the very least, he wanted to seriously injure Lu Ming. He was not the only one. Everyone present, including the reciprocity experts, stared at Lu Ming, who was enveloped by the power of the heavens. Soon, the power of the heavens faded and slowly dissipated. Amidst the power of the heavens, a figure could be vaguely seen. This was naturally Lu Ming's figure. At this moment, one could see that Lu Ming was enveloped by a translucent bell. Cracks could be seen on the surface of the bell. However, it was clear that it had successfully blocked Yi Qiuxian's attack. Lu Ming was unharmed. How is this possible? Yi Qiuxian's body trembled as his face turned even paler. He looked at Lu Ming in disbelief. As for the heavenly humans, including Gabbert and the others, their expressions were ugly. Of course, Xian Yanqing, Mid-Autumn Moon, and Dandan's expressions were the complete opposite of the heavenly humans. Ha ha ha, what did I say? I told you that Lu Ming would be fine. After all, this guy is my follower. How could anything happen to him so easily? Dandan laughed heartily. However, he could not help but shut his mouth when the cold gaze of the Lord of Heaven swept past him. The young master is truly powerful. The young master is invincible. Impressive. Lu Ming. Give these heavenly humans a good thrashing. Ha ha ha. Mid-Autumn Moon, the myriad god race, and the others did not have such concerns. They laughed heartily and attacked the heavenly humans while they were at it, causing their expressions to turn ugly. Bang! The bell around Lu Ming exploded with a bang. Lu Ming stepped out. His long robes fluttered in the wind. He was calm and composed as if nothing had happened. That bell was naturally formed by Lu Ming using the hieroglyphic qi refinement art. It was used to protect his body. Unexpectedly, its defensive power was so shocking that it could successfully block Yi Qiuxian's strongest attack. Yi Qiuxian, what other skills do you have? Use them all. Lu Ming stepped out and forced his way towards Yi Qiuxian. Zhang Xian swiftly formed a series of hand seals, and a sharp sword materialized in the air. Swoosh! The battle sword expanded rapidly. It was tens of thousands of feet long as it slashed towards Yi Qiuxian. Yi Qiuxian's expression changed drastically. He roared and the power of the heavens exploded once more. 4 battle swords formed around him once more. However, this time around, the glow of the 4 battle swords was much dimmer than before. They were also much smaller than before. After forming the 4 battle swords, Yi Qiuxian panted heavily. His face was even paler and he was sweating profusely. Previously, he had exhausted too much of his power of the heavens. Now that he was forcefully operating the 4 ultimate heavenly battle formation, it was very difficult for him. Moreover, its power was also much weaker than before. However, at this time, he could only go all out. 4 ultimate heavenly sword formation. Kill! Yi Qiuxian roared and controlled the 4 battle swords to fly towards Lu Ming. They collided with the battle swords formed by Lu Ming. Clang! 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 The sound of sword qi clashing resounded through the sky. Then, Yi Qiuxian's 4 battle swords collapsed and disappeared into nothingness. However, Lu Ming's attack did not stop. After the first battle sword, a battle saber was formed again and slashed towards Yi Qiuxian. The speed of the battle saber was astonishing. With one slash, it was already above Yi Qiuxian's head. Am I going to lose? No, I want to fight until the last moment. Yi Qiuxian roared in his heart. His eyes were filled with unyielding and unwillingness. The power of the heavens in his body bloomed like flames. His entire body was burning as he charged towards Lu Ming and clashed with the battle saber. Boom! There was an earth-shattering explosion. The saber light flashed and then disappeared. Everyone saw Yi Qiuxian's body being split into 2. Yi Qiuxian's body was split into 2 by the battle saber. Then with 2 loud bangs, his body exploded and turned into ashes. Yi Qiuxian was killed. He was killed by Lu Ming on the battle platform. The scene fell into a dead silence. Then, there was an earth-shattering uproar. Damn it! How is this possible? Yi Qiuxian was defeated. How could he be defeated with a 13-star battle strength and the perfect power of the heavens? It's fake, it's fake. This is all an illusion. I don't believe it. Many people from the heavenly human tribe shouted. They found it hard to believe and accept. Yi Qiuxian controlled the perfect power of the heavens and surpassed the 12-star battle strength to reach 13-star battle strength. Throughout the history of the heavenly human tribe, there had only been 2 such people. Including Yi Qiuxian, there were only 3 of them. Once such a person appeared, they represented invincibility. They could not be defeated in a battle of the same level. But now, Yi Qiuxian was defeated and killed by Lu Ming on the battle platform. This caused the beliefs of many people from the heavenly human tribe to collapse. They began to doubt themselves and their tribe. Was the heavenly human tribe really high up and invincible? Then why would Yi Qiuxian, who controlled the perfect power of the heavens, be defeated? Why would he be killed? Calm down. Victory and defeat are commonplace. Everyone will lose. As long as you become stronger after losing, you will be truly invincible. All of you wake up. Suddenly, a loud shout exploded like thunder, shaking up the minds of those celestial clan members. Many people from the heavenly human tribe trembled and woke up. Chapter 44:40. A heavenly venerable shouted, waking up many people from the heavenly human tribe, especially some of the young and middle-aged men. These people shuddered and woke up. Then they broke out in cold sweat. Just now, they had almost lost their faith, leaving behind a heart demon in their hearts. The consequences of that were very serious. It would severely affect their cultivation in the future, making it difficult for them to improve their cultivation. Those geniuses at the 9th layer of the God Emperor realm might be trapped in the 9th layer of the God Emperor realm forever. Fortunately, a heavenly venerable woke them up in time. Similarly, the people from the Heaven Destroyer were overjoyed. Lu Ming could be considered as a member of the Heaven Destroyer now. Now that he had killed Yi Qiuxian, it greatly increased the prestige of the Heaven Destroyer and destroyed the morale of the heavenly human tribe. In the void, Fei Huang smiled and muttered to herself, I was right about him. This kid's future is limitless. Even I can't see through him. Amazing. The person that junior sister likes is indeed extraordinary. This kid can't be comparable to Master in the future, right? The 3rd demon's sword also muttered. However, he still had a smile on his face. He was happy for Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. The other Origin Realm experts from the Heaven Destroyer also smiled. After this battle, there was no doubt that Lu Ming would take first place. At this moment, Yi Qiuxian's body reformed on the lotus. At the beginning, when he looked at Lu Ming, his eyes were filled with murderous intent. But very soon, he hid it and became calm. Lu Ming, this is only our first battle. We will have many chances in the future. I will definitely defeat you in the next battle, Yi Qiuxian said calmly. He had regained his confidence. This guy is very scary. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. As a peerless genius who had mastered the perfect force of heaven, he was regarded as the most powerful person in the universe. Suddenly, he was killed by Lu Ming on the battle stage. This was a huge blow to him. After suffering such a huge blow, Yi Qiuxian was able to recover in such a short time. One had to admit that this person's temperament was very terrifying. No wonder he was able to cultivate the perfect power of the heavens. I'll wait for your next battle, Lu Ming responded calmly. Although Yi Qiuxian was strong, he was also very confident. No one had ever been able to surpass him after being defeated by him once. Not in the past, and not in the future. This was his belief of being invincible. Yi Qiuxian did not say anything more. His expression was calm. He knew very well that people like them all had incomparably firm beliefs. They all had their own paths that they were determined to walk. No matter how much others said, it was useless. After the battle between Lu Ming and Yi Qiuxian, there were still 9 more matches. However, not many people were paying attention to them. This was because there weren't any more battles that were worth paying attention to. Not long after, the battle for the origin seed of the God Emperor realm came to an end. This battle was really full of ups and downs, making many people feel great in their hearts. That was because no one had been able to guess the result of this battle. The battle situation was unpredictable. Every round there would be huge changes. It wasn't until the final round that the true result was revealed. Many people's hearts had been on edge the entire time. When all the God Emperor realm battles had ended, the old voice rang out again. The God Emperor realm battles have all ended. Alright, I will now announce the specific rankings. First place, Lu Ming. Second place, Yi Qiuxian. Third place, Xian Yanqing. Fourth place, Dark Knight Rose. First place, you can enter the highest rank. Second to fourth place, you can enter the second rank. Fifth place, Wan Shen. Yi Chu Tianji and Yi Ling Hongye are both sixth place. The old voice continued to announce the names from the 5th to the 13th. This was because these 9 people could enter the third rank. Without a doubt, Bubbles and Autumn Moon had entered the top 13. They had obtained the third rank, the same rank as Yi Chu Tianji and the rest. This made Yi Chu Tianji extremely displeased. He used to be known as the strongest son of heaven with a 12-star battle strength, but now, he was in the same rank as some 11-star battle strength people. In his opinion, this was a great humiliation. It's all because of these guys. Yi Chu Tianji's cold gaze swept over Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Wan Shen and the rest. In his opinion, it was all their fault. If these people had not blocked his path, his ranking would not have been so low. He would have at least entered the top 4. Now, I will send you to the Cosmic Sea. How much you can gain will depend on yourselves. The old voice rang out. Lu Ming and the rest were looking forward to it. What exactly was the Cosmic Sea that could help one comprehend the origin seed? They were all very curious and looking forward to it. As soon as the old voice finished speaking, the lotus roots under the feet of Lu Ming and the rest started to grow crazily. There was a total of 130 people. The lotus roots under their feet kept growing taller and taller, sending them into the sky. About a few minutes later, the lotus roots stopped growing and came to a stop. As for the height of the 130 people, there was an obvious change as well. Lu Ming was high and mighty. He sat at the highest point and looked down at the others. Below him were Yi Qiuxian, Xian Yanqing, and Dark Knight Rose. However, their height was about 10,000 feet shorter than Lu Ming. This was the second rank. Further down was the third rank. It was Wan Shen, Yi Chu Tianji, Yi Ling Hongye, Bubbles, Autumn Moon, Di Jenny, and the rest. The height of these people was 10,000 feet shorter than the second rank. Then it was the fourth rank and the fifth rank. The height of the latter rank was 10,000 feet shorter than the previous rank. The 5 ranks were like a flight of stairs, clearly separated. At this moment, the lotus petals under their feet suddenly emitted a dazzling radiance. A layer of multicolored light shrouded them. At this moment, Lu Ming was enlightened. He sat down cross-legged and closed his eyes. His heart entered a state of emptiness. The next moment, Lu Ming's soul seemed to leave his body and fly into the vast universe. He was roaming in the boundless universe. Suddenly, a whirlpool appeared and sucked Lu Ming in. He seemed to have entered a tunnel and flew forward at an extremely fast speed. He did not know how long he had flown. It might have been an instant or billions of years. Anyway, Lu Ming could not tell. Suddenly, the tunnel came to an end. Lu Ming flew out of the tunnel and arrived at a strange place. Lu Ming was stunned. He realized that he seemed to have arrived at the sea. No, this was not the sea. However, it was as boundless as the sea. He looked around and realized that there were resplendent multicolored lights in all directions. It was boundless and filled with all kinds of multicolored lights. Chapter 44-41. This feeling is so familiar. It's the feeling of the primitive universe. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He felt that the area he was in gave him a very familiar feeling. This feeling was exactly the same as the feeling the primitive universe gave him. Are these stars? There are also nebulas, galaxies, star regions. Lu Ming looked carefully and found that there were endless stars rotating in the area he was in. There were also galaxies and star regions. And he had become extremely huge. It was as if his palm could cover a star region. And between these galaxies and star regions, there were some multicolored lights. These multicolored lights seemed to be a special kind of energy. They were vast and unfathomable, high and mighty. Lu Ming was familiar with this kind of energy. This was because he could sense it from Origin Realm figures. Also, he could sense a similar aura from the Origin Realm ancient characters Battle and Quantity. Origin. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Was this the origin? This kind of origin was very clear. Lu Ming stretched out his hand to grab the origin and could clearly feel the touch. It was really unbelievable that he could directly come into contact with the origin here. In the primitive universe, the origin was a mysterious and illusory thing. It could only be comprehended, but it could not be touched or captured. But here he could actually come into contact with it. How easy and fast would it be to comprehend it like this? As expected of the cosmic sea. It was indeed mysterious and unfathomable. It was no wonder that many people wanted to come here. They would rather suppress their cultivation and not break through to compete. What's further away? After sizing it up for a while, Lu Ming was curious again. He found that this area had a boundary. There was a boundary in all directions, and the places further away were enveloped by multicolored lights. It was impossible to see what was behind the multicolored lights. And the places further away gave Lu Ming a strange feeling. The aura was completely different from the aura of the primitive universe. Lu Ming was puzzled. Xueqi, autumn moon. Suddenly, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Not far away, he saw Xueqi, autumn moon, myriad god, bubbles, and company. Lu Ming, Xueqi, autumn moon, and the others also saw Lu Ming. They were overjoyed and flew over. However, Lu Ming immediately discovered a problem. He realized that the bodies of Xueqi, autumn moon, and the others were much dimmer and more illusory than his. His body was very solid, as if it had materialized. As for Xueqi and the others, they were obviously much more illusory. Xueqi was still all right, especially myriad god, autumn moon, and company. They were a little hazy and it was obvious that they were not corporeal. Could it be that this is the result of being in a different position? Lu Ming's heart stirred. That was very likely the case. Lu Ming was in the first level, and his body was obviously the most solid. Xueqi was in the second level, and his body was second. As for myriad god, autumn moon, and company, they were in the third level, and their bodies were naturally more illusory. One had to know that the origins here could be touched with one's body and could be directly felt. The more solid one's body was, the better the feeling would be. The effect of comprehending the origins would definitely be better. In this way, the difference between the different levels was reflected. Soon, Lu Ming's idea was verified. Because they had discovered others. For example, the people in the fourth and fifth levels. These people's bodies were even more illusory, and some looked like they would collapse at any time. Obviously, the effect of comprehending the origin seed in such a state would definitely be worse. But there was a strange thing. And that was that they did not see a single heavenly human. This was not right. The heavenly human made up the majority of the top 130 who were qualified to connect to the cosmic sea. But now, there was not a single heavenly human here. Lu Ming, Xueqi, and the others fell into deep thought. But after thinking for a long time, they still could not find an answer. Forget it, let's start comprehending the origins. We have to hurry. Lu Ming said. The others also nodded. And then they all found a suitable place to start comprehending the origins. Even though they had more than 900 years, it was still a very short period of time for people at their level. Especially when it came to comprehending the origin. One had to know that when those existences in the origin realm were in seclusion to comprehend the origins, a few stellar years might have passed. Compared to a stellar year, 900 years was a huge difference. Lu Ming chose a place where the multicolored light formed by the origins constantly flowed. Lu Ming rushed in, and his entire body was enveloped by the origins. Suddenly, he had a strange understanding in his heart, as if he had caught something. There's an effect so soon. Lu Ming was overjoyed. The cosmic sea was indeed the cosmic sea. It was indeed mysterious and the effect was astonishing. Originally, with their realm, they were not qualified to comprehend the origins at all. In the primitive universe, with their cultivation realm, they were far from qualified to comprehend the origins. No matter how hard they tried, they would not be able to touch the surface of the origins. Because the difference in realm was too great. Only when their cultivation reached the peak of the Almighty Master realm would they be qualified to touch the origins and comprehend them. If their cultivation was not at the peak of the Almighty Master realm, they would not be qualified. But the cosmic sea had forcefully erased the gap between them, and the effect was very shocking. Of course, this was also related to Lu Ming's position in the first grade. His body was the most solid, and his perception of the origins was the clearest. The others did not have such an effect. Lu Ming collected his thoughts and began to comprehend wholeheartedly. Outside the Grand Supreme Immortal City, everyone only saw Lu Ming and the others sitting cross-legged on the lotus, enveloped by the multicolored light of the lotus, cultivating with their eyes closed. Other than that, there was no abnormality, just like those almighty masters. At this moment, The competition for those below the Almighty God Emperor level had also begun. After nearly a year of competition, the results for those below the Almighty God Emperor level had been decided, and a portion of them had successfully connected to the Cosmic Sea. However, whether the method they used to enter the Cosmic Sea was the same as Lu Ming and the others, and whether the effect would be the same, was unknown. This was because Lu Ming and the others had only seen the Almighty God Emperor level existences from beginning to end. They did not see any existences of other realms. Time passed quickly, and year after year passed. In the blink of an eye, more than 900 years had passed. The 1,000-year time limit for the Grand Supreme Immortal City to leave was getting closer and closer. In the blink of an eye, there were less than 10 years left before the Grand Supreme Immortal City would leave. Suddenly, boom! A terrifying aura erupted, shaking the heavens and the earth. This aura came from those almighty masters who were connected to the Cosmic Sea. Everyone's gaze turned in that direction. What a terrifying aura! This aura is simply earth-shattering. It's like a universe. The primitive universe is ancient, powerful, and shocking. Some of the people with lower cultivation levels shouted in horror. Chapter 44-42. Those with lower cultivations were shocked. Those with higher cultivations, such as Divine Lords and Origin Realm cultivators, were also shocked. Someone is breaking through to Origin Realm. Someone is about to truly control Origin. Several Origin Realm cultivators spoke one after another. The others were all shocked. Someone was actually about to break through to reciprocity. This was a rare occurrence. How many years would it take for an Origin Realm cultivator to appear in the entire primitive universe? Witnessing someone break through to Origin Realm with their own eyes was a rare event. Who is it? A question popped up in everyone's minds. They used their eyes to carefully observe through the vast space. In the end, everyone's gaze landed on a burly figure. It's him. He's from the Heaven Destroyer. Everyone's hearts trembled. They were all in disbelief. The person breaking through was actually from the Heaven Destroyer. One had to know that the celestial race occupied the top 3 spots in the competition for Divine Lords. However, this burly man was only 4th. Clearly, the top 3 celestial race cultivators were superior to the Heaven Destroyer in terms of battle prowess, cultivation, foundation, and potential. However, the Heaven Destroyer's Divine Lord was the first to break through to Origin Realm. As for the top 3 Heavenly Human Clan Divine Lords, they had yet to make a breakthrough. How could this be? Many people were puzzled. Could it be that the Heaven Destroyer's talent and potential were greater, but his battle prowess was insufficient, which was why he was 3rd? Damn it, the primitive universe really is a barrier to our race. Otherwise, why would we let this person break through first? A celestial exalt from the celestial race growled angrily. However, his voice was suppressed, so no one else could hear him. Only a few people from the celestial race could hear him. There's nothing we can do about it. If our race wants to break through, we have to pay an even greater price. Therefore, we can't let the forbidden body grow, or it'll affect our race even more. Another celestial exalt spoke. That's right. It's best to get rid of the forbidden body. The 3rd celestial exalt spoke. He was very young and wore golden armor. He held a golden spear in his hand, making him seem like an invincible war god. He was Yelu Shengqiang, the sworn enemy of the 3rd demon sword. The conversation between the celestial exalts revealed a huge secret. Unfortunately, no one else could hear it. Alright. On Heaven Destroyer's side, the white-haired Origin Venerate stroked his beard and laughed loudly. The 3rd demon sword and the others also smiled, unable to contain their joy. As long as this person succeeded in breaking through, Heaven Destroyer would have another Source Venerate. Source Venerables were too important. They were the true pinnacle of battle power in the universe. Every additional one was extremely important. There were over 10,000 powerful races on the desolate universe's myriad races, but only the top 10 races possessed reciprocity experts. Of course, other races might possess reciprocity experts as well, but they would be extremely rare as phoenix feathers or Qilin horns. If the Heaven Destroyer could gain another reciprocity expert, it would be great news for the Heaven Destroyer. The people on Heaven Destroyer's side were very happy and secretly hoped that this person would succeed in breaking through. As for the Heavenly Human Tribe, they were praying that this person would fail. Roar! The burly figure let out a loud roar as his body left the lotus and floated in the void. Then, His body started to expand rapidly. In the end, he turned into an indomitable figure. This was a primordial divine spirit, a pure primordial divine spirit. He had the head of a dragon and the body of a human. He was extremely huge and a vast aura spread out in all directions. He roared at the sky as he tried to break through to reciprocity. Lord Long Fan is about to break through to reciprocity and become an over-god. There were a few primordial divine spirits in the surroundings. They were all divine masters and they were all excited. An over-god was the highest level of primordial divine spirits. It was equivalent to a source venerate or a heavenly venerate of the heavenly human tribe. Long Fan was the name of the primordial divine spirit who was trying to break through to reciprocity. He was an existence who had lived since the incipient god era. He was extremely powerful and had accumulated a lot of power. This time, he had connected to the cosmic sea and obtained its help to break through the bottleneck and attempt to break through to reciprocity. Of course, breaking through to reciprocity did not mean that he would succeed. Failure often meant death. So many people were very nervous. Roar! Long Fan roared continuously. His indomitable body swelled up like a balloon as if it would explode at any time. His aura became more and more terrifying. Everyone waited and watched. They knew that this was the critical moment of the breakthrough. Either he would succeed or he would fail. However, Long Fan was still under the protection of the Taishang Immortal City. No one could affect his breakthrough. Otherwise, the people of the Heavenly Palace would have taken action long ago to interrupt Long Fan's breakthrough. Now, they could only watch helplessly. In the blink of an eye, half an hour had passed. At this moment, Long Fan's aura had reached its peak. The void was constantly trembling under his aura. However, the others who were connected to the cosmic sea on their respective lotuses were not affected at all. They were enveloped by the light of the lotuses, which cut off all senses of the outside world. The people outside could not attack them, and they could not sense what was happening outside. Therefore the others, including Lu Ming and the others, were still quietly cultivating. Break! Suddenly, Long Fan roared. His long hair fluttered, and his originally powerful aura suddenly increased by a notch. Buzz! At this moment, everyone felt as though the entire universe was trembling. Then, a shocking scene appeared. All the stars in the universe shone brightly at this moment. All the stars were several times brighter than before. Then, from all over the universe, rays of light rushed in this direction. They were too fast. In just a few breaths, they had crossed the endless universe and rushed into Long Fan's body. This is the resonance of the universe. He succeeded in breaking through. Someone exclaimed. The hearts of the others were beating wildly. Legend had it that the universe would resonate when one broke through to the origin realm. The stars would shine as if they were cheering. Just now, such a phenomenon had appeared. This was enough to show that Long Fan had succeeded in breaking through. If he failed, he would not resonate with the universe. Origin was the most fundamental thing in the universe. Once one broke through and controlled the origin, one's lifespan would coexist with the universe. Every action would be closely related to the universe. Therefore, it could cause the universe to resonate. It was said that when someone in the origin realm died, the universe would also resonate. Long Fan was enveloped by the endless rays of light from all over the universe. These rays of light all merged into Long Fan's body in the end, forming a golden mark between Long Fan's eyebrows. The golden imprint flashed and disappeared. After controlling an origin, Long Fan has officially become an over-god. Fei Huang smiled faintly. Chapter 44-43. Long Fan had officially stepped into the origin realm, and the Heaven Destroyer had gained another peak powerhouse. This made the people of the Heaven Destroyer overjoyed. Some were happy, while others were sad. The people of the heavenly human tribe had gloomy expressions. In particular, the Divine Lord existences looked at Long Fan with complicated expressions. They were originally in the same realm as Long Fan. Although Long Fan was strong, they were on the same level. But now, Long Fan had leaped through the Dragon's Gate and reached the origin realm in one fell swoop. He was no longer someone they could compare to. As long as the origin realm was not killed, they could live as long as the universe. As long as the universe was not destroyed, the origin realm would not be destroyed. Only when the epoch changed and the universe was destroyed would the origin realm be destroyed. This was the ultimate goal of countless beings in the universe. No matter how strong the Divine Lord was, they could not withstand a single blow from the origin realm. Slowly, the cosmic phenomenon disappeared. Long Fan's aura stabilized, and his body returned to its normal size. He opened his eyes. His gaze was like a divine sword that pierced through the void. Then, he took a step forward and rushed out of the area covered by the light barrier, appearing beside Fei Huang and the others. He had broken through and reached the origin realm. He had lost the right to continue comprehending the origin realm. Long Fan, congratulations. Fei Huang, the third demon sword, and the others came to congratulate him with smiles. I would also like to thank all of you for your help and support. Long Fan clasped his fist in return. He was very polite, but his expression was more relaxed. He was not as restrained as before. He was only a divine lord in the past. Although he had lived for countless years, he was much older than Fei Huang and the others. But cultivation knew that those who reached the origin realm were the seniors. Fei Huang and the others were far above him. In the past, he had to be respectful in front of Fei Huang and the others. Now there was no need. He was also in the same realm. He could talk to them as equals. Time passed slowly amidst the congratulations from the Heaven Destroyer. Soon, the scene returned to calm. They continued to wait. 10 years passed in the blink of an eye. Bas. At this moment, the Taishang Immortal City trembled slightly. Mysterious patterns flashed on it. Then, the light barrier that covered Lu Ming and the others disappeared. The lotus flowers under the feet of Lu Ming and the others also disappeared. Initially, Lu Ming was focused on comprehending the origin in the universe sea. All of a sudden, he felt a powerful force pulling him toward a certain direction. The speed was beyond his imagination. Before Lu Ming could react, he felt his body tremble. He couldn't help but open his eyes. He was back. Lu Ming found that he had already left the cosmic sea and returned to the primitive universe, returning to the sky above the highest supreme immortal city. 950 years have passed? So fast. Lu Ming's heart stirred. When he was cultivating in cosmic ocean, he could not feel the passage of time at all. He felt that he had only been cultivating for a short period of time. Unexpectedly, more than 900 years had passed. How is your comprehension of the origin source coming along? With a thought, Lu Ming quickly used his inner perception to check the situation. In the next moment, he discovered a bright ball of light in his divine sense. This was a round bead about the size of a longan fruit. It was neither gold nor stone, and it was circulating with a mysterious aura. Origin source. Lu Ming sensed it and knew that the aura circulating on the longan fruit was the aura of the origin source. It was very dense and condensed. Origin source seed. This was the origin source seed. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He had condensed the origin source seed. On the origin source seed, the power of the origin source turned into countless tiny threads that flowed through Lu Ming's body, nourishing Lu Ming and improving Lu Ming at all times. With the nourishment of the origin source, Lu Ming could come into contact with the origin source at all times. This was very helpful for his future cultivation. When he broke through from the Divine Master Realm to the Origin Realm, the help would be even greater. It was equivalent to having a foundation in advance. It would naturally be much easier for him to break through than others. Lu Ming's mind stirred and he began to control the origin source seed. Immediately, the power of the origin source seed poured into Lu Ming's hands. Lu Ming had a feeling that his hands were now filled with terrifying destructive power. The power of the origin source seed can be used to attack. That's great. Lu Ming was overjoyed. But soon, Lu Ming calmed down. After all, this was just an origin source seed. The power of the origin source it contained was very little. Even if it could be used to attack, Lu Ming estimated that it could only be used for one attack. After one attack, the power of the origin source seed would be exhausted and need to slowly recover. Therefore, this could not be used as a common method to fight enemies. It could only be used as a trump card at a critical moment. However, even if it only had the power for one attack, Lu Ming was still secretly delighted. This was the power of the origin source. How powerful was the power that only people at the level of a heavenly venerable lord and a Shenyuan venerable could control? Lu Ming was very curious about how powerful this attack would be. He was also looking forward to it. Unfortunately, he could not try it now. However, Lu Ming was sure that it would definitely be much more terrifying than his current strongest attack. Otherwise, how could he live up to the name Origin Source? Collecting his thoughts, Lu Ming looked around. Yi Qiuxian, Xian Yanqing, Qiu Qiu Moon and the others had already woken up. Like Lu Ming, They all checked with their inner senses. Most of them smiled after checking it out. However, there were also a few people who looked gloomy and even wailed. I didn't get anything. My origin source seed. Where's the origin source seed? Ah, did I fail to comprehend it? Impossible. Impossible. No, this is not the result I wanted. No. Some people wailed and wailed. Clearly, these people had failed to comprehend the origin source seed and did not condense it. They had fought so hard in hopes of condensing the origin source seed and increasing their potential. Not only did they want to reach the Divine Master Realm in the future, but they also wanted to comprehend the origin source realm. However, they had failed to condense the origin source seed. Like the others, it would not be so easy for them to reach the origin source realm in the future. They had originally held great hope, but it turned into despair in the end. This difference was unbearable for these people. Let's go. Let's go near Senior Fei Huang and the others. Lu Ming sent a message to Xian Yanqing, Qiu Moon and the others. Then, they all flew toward Fei Huang and the others. Now, they were still within the range of the Taishang Immortal City. Everyone was suppressed. The people of the heavenly human tribe naturally did not dare to make a move. However, 1,000 years had passed. The Taishang Immortal City could leave at any time. At that time, the people of the heavenly human tribe would probably make a move. Therefore, they could only guarantee their safety by going to Fei Huang and the others. Lu Ming. Let's meet again in the future. Brother Lu Ming. I'll find a chance to see you in the future. Dandan and Bubbles did not follow Lu Ming and the others. Instead, they sent a message to Lu Ming and returned to the experts of their respective races. The World Turtle Clan and the Space-Time Spirit Mouse Clan naturally sent experts. Chapter 44-44. After all, Dandan and Bubbles had their own races. With their ties, they couldn't brazenly follow Lu Ming and the others. Otherwise, it would implicate their entire race. On the second floor of the Supreme Immortal City, they had already gone overboard by helping Lu Ming. At that time, the Heavenly Palace would probably punish the two races. Dandan, Bubbles, if there's anything else, send me a message as soon as possible. Lu Ming replied via sound transmission. All right. Dandan and Bubbles nodded. Ling Yue also remained silent as she arrived near the experts of the Elf Clan. When the experts of the Elf Clan saw Ling Yue, they were all overjoyed and bowed respectfully. They had all seen Ling Yue's previous performance. 11 stars of battle strength. This was equivalent to the level of the Heavenly Daughter of Heaven. In the entire universe's Heaven's Chosen list, only Ling Heng, who was ranked first, had such battle strength. Now that Ling Yue had comprehended the origin seed, it was very likely that she would break through to the origin realm in the future. Once the Elf Clan had an origin realm expert overseeing it, their status and strength would skyrocket. At that time, even if they couldn't enter the top 10 races, they would still be close. However, Ling Yue was expressionless as she casually nodded her head. The others also left one after another and returned to their respective races. The people of the Celestial race also returned to the side of the experts of the Celestial race. Lord Heavenly Sovereigns, this junior has failed you. Yi Chu Tianji came in front of the Empyreans and said with his head lowered. His face was fiery red, and he didn't dare to look at the Empyreans' faces. Before entering the Supreme Immortal City, he had once boasted in front of the Empyreans that he would easily suppress Lu Ming. Once he met Lu Ming, he would kill Lu Ming. But in the end, however, he had been killed by Lu Ming in public and on the fighting ring. It was a disgrace to the heavenly human tribe. With such a huge contrast, he was so ashamed that he wanted to die. He didn't have the face to meet the Empyreans. Work hard in the future. The Empyreans said a few words indifferently and didn't say anything else. The tone was very cold. Clearly, the few Empyreans were all very unhappy. Yi Chutian's heart sank as he roared in his heart. Lu Ming, it's all your fault, it's all your fault, damn it, Wang. At this moment, the Supreme Immortal City shook again, and it was even more intense than before. They were about to leave the highest Supreme Immortal City. Everyone's heart trembled. 60 solar years ago, they had already experienced it once. Once the 1,000 years were up, the Supreme Immortal City would break through space and enter the ruins of the universe. They would wander around the ruins of the universe and no one would be able to find them. Who knew how long it would be before he would appear again? Let's go out first. Fei Huang opened her mouth, her voice ringing in the ears of every heaven destroyer. Then, they flew in one direction, intending to leave the range of the Grand Supreme Immortal City before returning to the universe ruins. As soon as Fei Huang and the others moved, the heavenly human tribe looked over. "Follow them, don't let them go," an old celestial lord shouted in a low voice. His voice rang in the ears of the people in the heavenly palace, including some of the other powerful tribes. As soon as the voice fell, the heavenly venerables of the heavenly human tribe moved and followed behind Lu Ming and the others. Then, the Divine Master Realm experts followed closely behind. Are they going to attack the Heaven Destroyer? Follow them. Let's follow them too. The experts of the other tribes, such as the top 10 tribes, and the Divine Master Realm experts of these tribes also followed closely behind the heavenly human tribe, intending to attack the people of the Heaven Destroyer. The people of the World Turtle and the Space-Time Spirit Rat clan did not move. Are you really going to help Lu Ming deal with the prodigies of the heavenly human tribe in the Grand Supreme Immortal City? An old man of the World Turtle clan asked Dandan and Bubbles. That's right. Lu Ming used to be with me after all. When he was in danger, I couldn't just sit back and do nothing. I couldn't help but make a move. Dandan said. If Big Brother Lu Ming is in danger, of course I have to make a move. I have to do it even if it means risking my life. Bubbles nodded repeatedly. This made the experts of the World Turtle Clan and the Space-Time Spirit Rat Clan look very serious. The people of the heavenly human tribe are very narrow-minded, especially when it comes to the taboo body. I'm afraid it won't end so easily. We have to think about it carefully. It's not good to stay here for long. Let's go back as soon as possible and discuss this with the Patriarch and the others. That's right. Let's leave now. The experts of the World Turtle Clan and the Space-Time Spirit Rat Clan spoke one after another. Then, they took the backs of the two clans and set off, rushing in another direction. Now, the people of the heavenly human tribe were all focused on the Heaven Destroyer. How could they care about the World Turtle Clan and the Space-Time Spirit Rat Clan? They quickly left the area covered by the Grand Supreme Immortal City and flew toward the starfield where the two clans were located. No one paid attention to them. When the two clans left, several experts of the elf tribe followed the people of the heavenly human tribe to kill Lu Ming and the others. Elders, don't go. Ling Yue wanted to stop the elders of the elf tribe. Princess, that Lu Ming is Mu Yun, and you were once very close to him. The heavenly human tribe will definitely blame us. Now is the best time for us to show our loyalty and render meritorious service. This time, we can dispel the doubts of the heavenly human tribe. This is a major matter that concerns the entire race. That's right. Princess, just stay here and don't move. We'll take care of everything. The elders of the elf tribe left behind a few words and followed the heavenly human tribe. Ling Yue opened her mouth to speak, but in the end, she didn't say anything. The heavenly human tribe really won't let this go. Among the Heaven Destroyer crowd, Fei Huang whispered. So what if they won't let this go? Don't tell me we're afraid of them? Our combat strength is not weaker than theirs. Now that we have Long Fan as a general, how can they stop us? At most, we'll just fight. The third demon sword Dao was full of fighting spirit. His gaze swept towards Yelu Shenqiang behind him, filled with killing intent. Yelu Shenqiang's gaze swept towards the third demon sword, also filled with killing intent. Our performance this time was too outstanding. Lu Ming, Shao Qing, Wan Shen, Autumn Moon and the others are all peerless geniuses. Their overall potential is greater than that of the younger generation of the heavenly human tribe. They definitely won't let us go and will do whatever it takes to get rid of Lu Ming and the others, especially Lu Ming. So, it's better to be careful. I reckon they have other experts in the dark. Fei Huang said. The others also looked solemn and sped up. However, the experts of the heavenly palace followed closely behind them, maintaining a certain distance. Soon, the people of the Heaven Destroyer left the area covered by the Taishang Immortal City. As soon as they left the area covered by the Taishang Immortal City, their cultivation was completely restored without the suppression of the Taishang Immortal City. Kang! A terrifying sword intent rushed out of the third demon sword. Then, a battle sword flew out and expanded rapidly. With a wave of Fei Huang's hand, a black lotus appeared, and it quickly grew bigger. The white-haired elder also summoned a towering tree. Chapter 44-45. The Heaven Destroyer had a total of 7 Origin Realm cultivators when they arrived. Now, including Long Fan, there were 8 Origin Realm cultivators. They all took out their treasures. Come up quick! Fei Huang shouted. All those below reciprocity charged toward the huge weapons. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Qiu Moon, Wan Shen, and the others all charged into Fei Huang's Black Lotus. A wave of energy enveloped them. After everyone entered the weapons, the 8 Origin Realm cultivators broke through the void and tried to leave. However, they didn't get far before the space around them began to tremble and collapse. Stay! An old voice rang out. Several terrifying attacks swept toward Fei Huang and the others from the dark void. These attacks were extremely terrifying. They were definitely the attacks of Origin Realm cultivators. Humph! 3 Origin Realm cultivators want to stop us? Break! Third Demon's sword shouted and slashed out. A vast sword light flew out and blocked one of the attacks. The other Origin Realm cultivators also took action and blocked the remaining attacks. It's enough to stop you for a moment. The void in front of them constantly exploded, revealing a pitch-black space. In the pitch-black space, several huge figures could be vaguely seen. Without a doubt, they were the celestial exalts of the heavenly palace. At this moment, the Taishang immortal city trembled again. It was enveloped in a dazzling light and then flew away with a whoosh. It disappeared into the vast universe. The suppression of the Taishang immortal city disappeared without a trace. The people of the heavenly palace immediately recovered their strength. Traitors, you can't leave. Say! Yelu Shengqiang roared. The golden armor on his body shone brightly as he stabbed out with his golden spear. Whoosh! The golden spear pierced through the void and stabbed toward Third Demon's sword. Good, I'll kill you this time. Third Demon's sword shouted, revealing a powerful battle intent. He swung his sword at Yelu Shengqiang. A demon's sword cut through the starry sky and clashed with the golden spear. Boom! A shocking explosion took place as the 2 figures were knocked backward. Third, don't get caught up in the battle. Leave this place first to avoid being surrounded. Flying Phoenix against the Third Demon. Right now, the Heavenly Palace had more reciprocity experts than them. If they were surrounded, they would be in trouble. Yelu Shengqiang, I'll let you go this time, but I'll kill you next time. The Third Devil Sword shouted, no longer attacking Yi Lui Shenchong. Instead, he cooperated with Fei Huang and the others, rushing forward. Up ahead, only 3 reciprocity experts from the Heavenly Palace had appeared. With the 8 of them working together, it was not difficult for them to charge out. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The 8 reciprocity experts struck out together. 8 attacks shot forward, creating an earth-shaking scene. The entire cosmos shook. Some of the nearby stars were also exploding. However, the 3 reciprocity experts of the Heavenly Palace remained motionless in the dark space. They did not seem to be worried at all against the attacks of 8 reciprocity experts. The next moment, a few more figures appeared behind them. There were a total of 5 figures, all of them extremely majestic with shocking auras. 5 more reciprocity experts had appeared. Including the 3 from before, there were 8 of them. The expressions of Fei Huang, the Third Demon Sword, and the others changed drastically. The 8 reciprocity experts from the Heavenly Palace had struck out, successfully blocking the attacks of Fei Huang and the others. Ha ha ha, traitors, I told you, you won't be able to leave today. Yelu Shengqiang laughed as he chased from behind. Behind them, there were 7 reciprocity experts from the Heavenly Palace. On the Heavenly Palace's side, there were a total of 15 reciprocity experts, surrounding them. This made Fei Huang, the Third Demon Sword, and the others extremely solemn. 15 reciprocity experts was almost twice as many as them. Moreover, they did not know if there were any extremely powerful reciprocity experts among them. If there were, they would be in danger. Most importantly, Fei Huang was only a soul clone. Her battle prowess was not very strong. She could only barely reach reciprocity with the help of a powerful divine weapon. In addition, Long Fan had only just reached reciprocity. Among reciprocity experts, his cultivation was the weakest. As a result, their situation became even more dire. Let's go all out. The Third Demon Sword's eyes shone with a fierce light as his sword hummed continuously. The others also pushed their strength to the limit. Kill! Kill! The experts from the Heavenly Palace struck out. 15 reciprocity experts struck out together. 15 attacks shot toward Fei Huang and the others. Let's work together and focus on defense, Fei Huang said. Rays of light blossomed from the hands of Fei Huang and the others. It was not an offensive technique, but a defensive one. They were at a disadvantage in terms of numbers. They were definitely not a match for them in a direct confrontation. If they focused on defense and waited for an opportunity to break out, they still had a chance of winning. Rays of light enveloped Fei Huang and the others. In the next moment, the 15 attacks fell. Boom boom boom. Terrifying explosions rang out as large swathes of the starry sky were annihilated by the terrifying power. The surrounding galaxy was instantly swept away. The stars in the galaxy exploded and the stars were extinguished. In just an instant, a vast galaxy was destroyed. Fortunately, this place was close to the universe ruins and the conditions were too harsh. There were almost no living creatures in this galaxy. Otherwise, who knew how many creatures would have died in that attack? With a series of explosions, the defense formed by Fei Huang and the others shook violently before exploding. The 8 of them retreated rapidly. The weaker ones, such as Long Fan, coughed up large mouthfuls of blood. Fei Huang's body also dimmed. She was almost annihilated. Oh no, there's a late reciprocity expert among them. An reciprocity expert from the Heaven Destroyer exclaimed. After reaching reciprocity, the division of cultivation realms was completely different from before. For example, reciprocity was generally divided into early reciprocity, mid-reciprocity, late reciprocity. The gap between each level was extremely huge. In the primitive universe, ordinary reciprocity experts were at early reciprocity. Those who could reach mid-reciprocity were few and far between. For example, the third demon sword was at mid-reciprocity. This time, the strongest of the 8 from the Heaven Destroyer was at mid-reciprocity. There were a total of 3. The others were all at early reciprocity. Of course, Fei Huang did not count. She was only a soul clone, so it was very difficult to measure her cultivation realm. However, there were late reciprocity experts from the Heavenly Palace this time. Earlier, it was these late reciprocity experts who had taken action that had destroyed their defense in a single stroke. This time, all of you will stay behind. This time, the heavens are really on our side. As long as we kill these people, the Heaven Destroyer will suffer heavy losses. Our foundation will be shaken, and we will lose all of our future strength. The day of our destruction will be near. Attack with your full strength. The reciprocity experts from the Heavenly Palace were filled with intense killing intent as they pushed their strength to the limit. Chapter 44-46. The reciprocity experts of the Heavenly Palace circulated their origin energy and pushed their battle prowess to the limit. Every single one of them used their trump cards to attack Fei Huang, the third demon sword, and the others. This was an excellent opportunity. As long as they got rid of Fei Huang, the third demon sword, and the others, the Heaven Destroyer would definitely suffer heavy losses. 8 reciprocity experts, no, 7 reciprocity experts to be more precise. Fei Huang was only a soul clone after all. Her true body was not here. 7 reciprocity experts were enough to make the Heaven Destroyer suffer heavy losses. The most important ones were the younger generation. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Qiu Yu, Wan Shen, and the others. Every single one of these people was extremely terrifying. Once they reached major achievement, they would definitely become extremely terrifying experts. They would pose a great threat to the Heavenly Palace. As long as they got rid of these people, the threat of the Heaven Destroyer would be greatly reduced. Then, once Yi Qiuxian reached major achievement, he would be able to destroy the Heaven Destroyer in one fell swoop and repel the demons. He would truly unify the primitive universe. At that time, the vast ruins of the universe would belong to the Heavenly Palace. Thinking of this, the experts of the Heavenly Palace became fired up. When they attacked, they became even more powerful. Oh no! The expressions of the third demon sword, Long Fan, and the others changed drastically. They could not withstand the previous wave of attacks. Some of them had even been injured. However, this wave of attacks was even more powerful and targeted. For example, the terrifying late reciprocity expert of the Heavenly Palace had directly targeted Long Fan and the other weakest people. They wanted to defeat them one by one. They would first kill the weaker ones before dealing with the stronger ones. A terrifying attack shot toward Long Fan. It belonged to a late reciprocity expert. Another attack was aimed at Fei Huang. The late reciprocity expert had launched a total of 2 attacks. Even if Long Fan and Fei Huang were in peak condition, They would not be able to withstand a single attack from a late reciprocity expert, let alone the fact that they had already been injured in the first wave. The situation had suddenly become extremely dangerous. At this moment, a jade talisman appeared in Fei Huang's hand. With a bang, Fei Huang crushed the jade talisman. The jade talisman exploded, turning into a dazzling light that dissipated. And within the dissipating light, many figures appeared. Flying phoenixes. They were all flying phoenixes. The figures that appeared were all flying phoenixes. There were a total of 36 figures, each of them emitting a powerful aura. Soul incarnation? You actually have so many soul incarnations? How is this possible? An Empyrean exclaimed. Fei Huang didn't answer because her 36 incarnations quickly rushed to the soul incarnation at the front and fused together. Following the fusion of the soul incarnation, Fei Huang's aura began to skyrocket. Early reciprocity, peak early reciprocity, mid reciprocity. In the end, when the 36 soul clones fused into one, her presence reached late reciprocity in a single stroke. His aura had increased exponentially. This process seemed to take a long time, but it all happened in an instant. In the blink of an eye, Fei Huang completed the fusion, and then slapped out two palms. Two pitch-black palms shot out, colliding with the attack of the late reciprocity expert from the Heavenly Palace, blocking his attack. Fei Huang, you actually have 36 soul incarnations with you. Ordinary people can only create a few soul incarnations at most, yet you have so many. Aren't you afraid of harming your foundation? The late reciprocity expert from the Heavenly Palace said coldly. He had white hair and a face full of wrinkles. He was extremely old. His name was Yichu Zhangyang, and he was an ancestor of the Celestial clan. He had lived for countless years, and it was said that he had once participated in the war against the primitive gods. Many primitive gods had died at his hands. You're just ignorant. Do you think everyone is mediocre? Fei Huang's cold voice rang out. Her presence was unparalleled, and her body was so condensed that it was impossible to tell that she was a soul incarnation. Bang! She took a step forward, and a terrifying aura swept out like a wave. The two Empyrean exalts who were closer to her trembled and were forced back by the aura. The difference between each level of the reciprocity realm was extremely great. It was impossible to resist. However, Yichu Zhangyang's aura erupted and blocked Fei Huang's aura. Fei Huang, you're just a soul incarnation in the end. Even if you forcefully raise your cultivation to late reciprocity, how much of your strength can you use? Scorching Sun Finger, kill. Yichu Zhangyang roared and clawed at Fei Huang with his hands. At that moment, the tips of his 10 fingers shone brightly. One could see that there were suns emerging from the tips of his 10 fingers. Yes, suns. Each of his fingertips had a sun that shone with resplendent light. The power of each sun was probably thousands of times greater than the stars in the universe. This was because they were completely condensed from the power of the heavenly tribulation. The power of the heavenly tribulation could only be condensed into an attack like this. From the outside, it was impossible to see the lightning formed by the power of the heavenly tribulation. This could only be achieved by someone who had an extremely profound control over the power of the heavenly tribulation. Yichu Zhangyang's claw became extremely large as he grabbed at Fei Huang. This was an extremely terrifying attack. A single sun condensed from the power of the heavenly tribulation contained enough power to destroy the world. Once it exploded, it could destroy an entire galaxy. Demonic tribulation finger. Fei Huang said softly. She extended 2 slender fingers and jabbed out 10 times in a row. Swish! 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 10 consecutive bursts of energy shot out and collided with Yichu Zhangyang's attack. The entire region was turned upside down. The stars trembled. It was an extremely shocking scene. There was a black lotus beneath Fei Huang's feet. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Qiu Yu, and the others were protected by the lotus. They could clearly see everything that was happening outside. Lu Ming and many others were shaken by this battle. They found it difficult to remain calm. It was just too terrifying. It was just too powerful. This was a battle between reciprocity realm cultivators. The strength was simply unimaginable. When existences at this level fought wildly, it would cause devastating damage to the universe. If there were too many of these existences, they might really be able to destroy the universe. It was no wonder that the boundless Eldritch continent had been destroyed in the last epoch. There were probably too many experts participating in this battle. Many people showed an expression of endless yearning. This was the goal of cultivation. If they could reach this level, how great would it be? After Fei Huang and Yi Chu Zhengyang exchanged a blow, they continued to fight and exchanged dozens of blows. The others avoided the area where the two of them were fighting. They did not dare to approach. In another direction, the third demon sword and the others gathered together to block the attacks of the other people from the heavenly palace. They defended with all their strength and could hold on for a while. However, as time went on, it would definitely be very disadvantageous for them. Chapter 44-47. Time ticked by, and in the blink of an eye, a few minutes had passed. Fei Huang and Yi Chu Zhengyang were locked in battle. The third demon sword and the others were at a disadvantage. Their opponents outnumbered them, and even if they focused on defense, they would not be able to hold on for long. Third demon sword, your fate has come to an end, prepare to die. Yi Lui Shengqiang roared, and his golden spear continued to attack. The sky was filled with golden spear shadows, and they were constantly attacking the third demon sword and the others. The third demon sword waved his sword, and he did not expect to win, but he did not want to make any mistakes. He used his sword as a shield, and it turned into a heavy sword shield that blocked the attacks of Yi Chu Zhengyang and the others. Yi Chu Zhengyang, you're just relying on your advantage in numbers. If we fight one-on-one, I will definitely kill you. The third demon sword shouted coldly. This is not a competition. This is a war. Third demon sword, die. Yi Lui Shengqiang shouted, and he stopped attacking. Instead, he retreated quickly, and the golden spear in his hand was replaced by a long spear. It was a gray long spear that looked like it was polished from stone. It did not have any beauty, but it exuded a terrifying aura. Fei Huang, the third demon sword, and the others' faces changed when they saw the long spear. Sky Destroyer Spear. The third demon sword's face changed drastically, and he shouted in shock. That was because the long spear's origin was too great. Legend had it that the long spear was one of the heavenly human tribe's ancestral artifacts. It had followed the heavenly human tribe through their entire history, and it had killed countless experts. It was said that the Sky Destroyer Force, one of the heavenly human tribe's 4 strongest heavenly forces, was comprehended from the Sky Destroyer Spear. The heavenly human tribe actually used the Sky Destroyer Spear to deal with us. The third demon sword's face was extremely solemn. There was no doubt that the Sky Destroyer Spear was one of the most terrifying weapons in the universe. So you should feel honored to die under the Sky Destroyer Spear. Yi Lui Shengqiang said coldly, and the Sky Destroyer Force was injected into the Sky Destroyer Spear. Bas! The Sky Destroyer Spear shook slightly, and an incomparably terrifying aura exuded from it. It was a destructive aura. The power contained within it was very similar to the Heavenly Extermination Force. However, it was much more terrifying than the Heavenly Extermination Force. Die! Yelu Shengqiang shouted, thrusting out his long spear at the third devil sword. Not good. Before the attack arrived, the third demon sword felt a fatal crisis. His entire body was locked down. Even if he wanted to escape, it would be difficult. Most importantly, there were many other masters from the heavenly palace surrounding them. They couldn't escape even if they wanted to. Third, defend with all your might, shouted Fei Huang. Seizing the opportunity, she pointed out with her finger. A finger energy shot towards the Sky Extermination Spear at an astonishing speed. His finger strike landed on the Sky Extermination Spear. Clang! The Sky Extermination Spear shook violently. Fei Huang was currently at late reciprocity after all. Her attack was extremely powerful. Although it failed to block the Apocalypse Spear completely, it did weaken a portion of its power. Take care of yourself, yelled Yi Chu Zhengyang. Seizing the opportunity, he attacked Fei Huang, causing her body to sway. Her body almost exploded, and her light dimmed a lot. She was now a soul incarnation, not a body of flesh and blood, so she wouldn't vomit blood. However, her body's light dimmed, which was similar to vomiting blood, indicating that she was injured. The Sky Extermination Spear continued to stab the third demon sword with its remaining power. 9-layered sword shield, roared the third demon sword. He attacked with all his strength. Endless sword light burst out, forming a 9-layered sword shield in front of him. As soon as the sword shield was formed, the Sky Extermination Spear arrived, stabbing into the sword shield. Puff, puff, puff. The 9-layered sword shield couldn't withstand the Sky Extermination Spear's attack. It was pierced through one after another. In the blink of an eye, the 9-layered sword shield was completely pierced. The terrifying sky extermination spear stabbed the third demon's sword. Ah! The third demon's sword cried out miserably as his body was blown away. He saw that the third demon's sword's chest had been pierced through, leaving behind a large hole. This wasn't the most terrifying thing. The most terrifying thing was that the terrifying power contained in the sky extermination spear had entered the third demon's sword's body and was crazily destroying his body. The large hole in his chest was expanding at a speed visible to the naked eye. It was being destroyed by the power. The third demon's sword roared as he used all his strength to resist the terrifying power. In the end, the third demon's sword paid a heavy price to resist the power. However, his body was gone. It was completely destroyed by the power of the sky extermination spear. Only his head was left, and his aura was extremely weak. In one move, the third demon's sword was severely injured. He only had his head left, and he no longer had the strength to fight. The power of the sky extermination spear was truly astonishing. Moreover, the sky extermination spear's power had been weakened by Fei Huang. Only then did it manage to pierce the third demon's sword. Otherwise, the third demon's sword wouldn't have been able to resist this move. He would have been turned into ashes. The sky extermination spear was indeed worthy of being one of the heavenly human tribe's strongest ancestral artifacts. Yi Lu Shenqiang, who was originally on the same level as the third demon's sword, used it to suppress the third demon's sword. Inside the lotus, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and the others were filled with worry. They couldn't wait to go out and fight. Lu Ming and the third demon's sword could be considered as life and death friends. It was the third demon's sword who had brought him out of the heavenly palace's prison. The third demon's sword was Xian Yanqing's senior brother in his previous life. Although Xian Yanqing had the upper hand in this life, he still had the memories of his previous life. He still had some feelings for the third demon's sword. At this moment, he was naturally very worried. Yi Lu Shenqiang was a little unhappy that he didn't kill the third demon's sword in one move. He was holding one of the heavenly human tribe's strongest ancestral artifacts, the sky extermination spear. He originally thought that he could easily kill the third demon's sword with one move, but he didn't expect the third demon's sword to survive. This made him feel ashamed. Third demon's sword, the next move is to kill you. Go to hell. Yi Lu Shenqiang roared. His sky extermination power surged into the sky extermination spear, wanting to activate the sky extermination spear to kill the third demon's sword once and for all. If you dare to kill him, I'll let you die. Right at this moment, a chilly voice suddenly resounded from the distant starry sky. When the voice first came out, it sounded very far away, but when the last word came out, it sounded very close. Swish! A golden sword light erupted from the starry space. The sword light traversed the starry space, spanning hundreds of millions of li, vast and boundless, slashing towards Yi Lu Shenqiang. Yi Lu Shenqiang's expression froze. Subconsciously, he swung the sky extermination spear to block the attack. With a loud clang, the sword light collided with the sky extermination spear. Yi Lu Shenqiang's body shook, and he couldn't help retreating. Then, a young man appeared in the starry space. Chapter 44-48. A young man appeared in the starry sky. He looked very young and very handsome. It was not an exaggeration to say that he was handsome. He was dressed in white and carried a long sword on his back. He also held a golden long sword in his hand. That's the second divine sword. Xian Yanqing exclaimed from the lotus. The second divine sword? Lu Ming was puzzled. That's right. In my previous life, Tang Qing's father had 3 direct disciples. They were the first divine sword, second divine sword, and third demon sword. They were all peerless geniuses of the sword. Xian Yanqing explained. Hiss. Lu Ming sucked in a breath of cold air. Xian Yanqing's father in his previous life was his father-in-law. The 3 disciples of this cheap father-in-law were actually so terrifying. The third demon sword was in existence in the origin realm. Now that the second divine sword had appeared, it went without saying that he was also in existence in the origin realm. Moreover, from the sword just now, he seemed to be even stronger than the third demon sword. Then what about the first divine sword? Was he also in existence in the origin realm? The 3 disciples were all existences in the origin realm. This was too unbelievable. The origin realm was not a cabbage. It was the overlord of the universe, the peak battle strength of the universe. If the disciples were so powerful, Then as the master, how powerful would he be? Lu Ming was more and more curious about this cheap father-in-law. During this period, he had also heard some stories about this cheap father-in-law. It was said that this cheap father-in-law also came from a small world. In the end, his name shook the primitive universe and he was called the Forbidden Sword Ancestor. His cultivation had reached an unfathomable level. Second senior brother. Ha ha ha, you're here. That's great. Seeing the second divine sword, the third demon sword was overjoyed. Second divine sword, I didn't expect you to also appear. Heaven Destroyer only sent you here alone? Yelu Shenqiang said as he looked around, as if he was looking for the person lying in ambush. Yi Chu Zhangyang and the other experts of the Heavenly Palace did the same. Their spiritual sense permeated every inch of the universe to prevent an ambush. You don't need to look for me. Today, I came alone. The second divine sword. What? Hearing this, the faces of the third devil sword, Long Fan, and the others fell, and their hearts sank. What was the use of the second divine sword coming alone? Although the second sword's battle prowess was great, he was only at mid-reciprocity. He could not reverse the situation at all. Only Fei Huang's eyes flickered. She glanced at the sword on the back of the second divine sword thoughtfully. You came alone? Yelu Shangqiang and the other heavenly human tribe experts were also stunned. However, they did not find any other Heaven Destroyer members around them. The Heaven Destroyer had only sent the second godly sword? Or was it that the second divine sword happened to be nearby and noticed the situation and rushed over? Second divine sword, you actually dared to come here alone? Then die with your junior brother. At least you'll have company. Yi Lu Shenqiang said coldly, continuing to channel the heavenly extermination force into the heavenly extermination spear. The sky extermination spear was activated once again, emitting a terrifying aura. I alone am enough. The second divine sword smiled faintly, extremely calm. Shameless boasting, second divine sword, I don't care what tricks you have up your sleeves. In front of absolute power, only death awaits. Sky extermination spear. Kill. Yelu Shangqiang roared, channeling the sky extermination spear with all his might. The sky extermination spear trembled, emitting an even more terrifying aura. It then turned into a ray of light, stabbing at the second divine sword. Yelu Shangqiang's furious attack had activated the sky extermination spear's terrifying power. It was even stronger than the one he had used on the third demon sword. Senior brother, be careful. Second divine sword. Dodge. The third demon sword and the others roared. Within the lotus, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and the others could not help but feel their hearts in their mouths. The sky extermination spear was extremely fast, piercing through the boundless starry sky in the blink of an eye. It was about to hit the second divine sword. However, the second divine sword remained calm, standing in the starry sky without any intention of fighting back. Clang! At this moment, a sword chime rang out, instantly spreading across several star regions. In these star regions, all living beings heard this sword chime. This sword chime came from the battle sword on the second divine sword's back. At this moment, the battle sword automatically flew out of its sheath, piercing through space. It was a very ordinary-looking battle sword, similar to the iron sword used by ordinary martial artists. Its color was dull, and it looked very ordinary. However, an incomparably terrifying sword light burst out from it. Swoosh! The ordinary battle sword slashed at the void, accurately hitting the sky extermination spear. Suddenly, the sky extermination spear shook violently and flew back, crashing into Yelu Shangqiang's body. Yelu Shangqiang screamed, vomiting blood, and his face turned pale. Master! Seeing this sword, the third demon sword cried out excitedly. This aura! It's the Forbidden Sword Ancestor's aura. The other experts on the Heaven Destroyer's side were also overjoyed. Fei Huang's face also showed a smile. On the other hand, the people on the Heavenly Palace's side were shocked. What? It's the Forbidden Sword Ancestor, Tang Feng? Did Tang Feng come in person? He hasn't appeared for many years. It's said that he's in the depths of the universe ruins. Why would he suddenly come here? Is it for Lu Ming? Oh no, let's go. On the Heavenly Palace's side, more than a dozen Origin Realm experts were trembling in fear. They had no intention to fight at all. There was only one thought in their mind, and that was to escape. They wanted to escape even before they saw Tang Feng's shadow. because they knew that they were no match for the forbidden sword ancestor. The biggest possibility was that they would be killed by his sword. Don't worry, Tang Feng didn't come. It's just a sword. Yi Chu Zhengyang shouted, trying to calm the people down. However, everyone was still trembling in fear. Even if Tang Feng didn't come in person, his sword was still extremely terrifying. At this moment, the same thought appeared in their minds. That was, the second divine sword came with his master's sword. No wonder he dared to come alone and was fearless. It turned out that he had brought a powerful weapon. Don't panic, this is not Tang Feng's sword. It only contains a wisp of Tang Feng's aura. It can't be strong. If we work together, we will definitely be able to break it. Yi Chu Zhengyang shouted. Everyone sensed it carefully and found the problem. This battle sword was indeed a very ordinary battle sword. It was made of ordinary materials and was refined with ordinary methods. However, it contained a wisp of the forbidden sword ancestor's aura. Long Fan and the others' hearts sank. It was just a wisp of Tang Feng's aura. Could it stop the people of the Heavenly Palace? A wisp of aura wants to stop us. Sky Destroyer Spear. Destroy. Destroy everything. Chapter 44-49. This time, Yelu Shengqiang went all out. He even burned his heavenly energy and poured it all into the Sky Annihilation Spear. This desperate method allowed the Sky Annihilation Spear to unleash even more power. Wang. The ancient Sky Annihilation Spear trembled slightly, as if a terrifying expert was awakening. Terrifying energy spread out from it, causing the space around the Sky Annihilation Spear to crumble and be annihilated. Who cares about the taboo sword ancestor? It's just a strand of aura. How dare it be so arrogant? Destroy it! Yelu Shengqiang roared and pushed his palm forward. Whoosh! The Sky Annihilation Spear turned into a beam of light and stabbed towards the second divine sword. It wanted to kill the taboo sword ancestor's aura along with the second divine sword. Clang! The sword, which contained the aura of the sword ancestor and looked like an ordinary Qingfeng sword, let out a sword cry again and slashed at the void. In the next moment, the taboo sword struck the Sky Annihilation Spear. Wang wang wang. The Sky Annihilation Spear trembled even more violently. The terrifying ripples turned the surrounding space into chaos. No one dared to stand still. The third demon sword, Long Fan, and the heavenly venerables of the heavenly human race all retreated far away. As for the heavenly human race and the divine lords of the other races, they retreated far away with their clansmen. This was no longer an ordinary battle between Origin Realm experts. It had escalated and was becoming more and more terrifying. It was not something a divine lord could interfere with. The Sky Annihilation Spear is losing. How could this be? The divine lords of the heavenly human race exclaimed in disbelief. Because at this moment, the Sky Annihilation Spear trembled violently and flew back towards Yelu Shengqiang. Yelu Shengqiang's expression changed drastically. He did not dare to take it head-on and dodged far away. Bang! Bang! The Sky Annihilation Spear flew across the vast space, passing through dozens of planets and causing them to explode one by one. Suddenly, the void split open and a withered hand reached out and grabbed the Sky Annihilation Spear. The Sky Annihilation Spear buzzed a few times before it was grasped by the hand. Then, the void split open and a figure appeared. This was a skinny old man. His golden hair had already turned white. Needless to say, he was also a heavenly human race expert. Another old monster. Fei Huang whispered. She could recognize that he was an old man who had lived for a very long time. He was also at late reciprocity and was extremely powerful. Moreover, he was most skilled in heavenly devastation force. His name was Yechu Zhengmia, and he was from the same generation as Yechu Zhengyang. The two of them had similar cultivation levels, but what they were good at was completely different. Yi Chu Zhengyang specialized in the power of heavenly punishment. On the other hand, Yechu Zhengmia specialized in heavenly annihilation power. Yi Chu Divine Spear. Step back and let this old man do it. It's just a strand of Tang Feng's aura. Today, it will definitely be destroyed. As Yechu Zhengmia spoke, his entire body was enveloped by a gray power. This was the power of heavenly extermination. Yi Chu Divine Spear was also proficient in heavenly extermination power, but compared to Yi Chu Zhengyang, it was God knows how many times weaker. Boom! Under Yi Chu Zhengyang's control, the sky extermination energy erupted with a terrifying aura. Waves of terrifying energy gushed out of the sky extermination spear continuously. Kill! Yichu Zhengyang shouted loudly. His originally shriveled body swelled up, and he looked a lot younger. He took a step forward and instantly crossed hundreds of millions of miles of the starry sky, rushing towards the Qingfeng sword. He brandished the sky extermination power and swept it towards the Qingfeng sword. Clang! The two collided once again. This time, the collision was far more powerful than before. The Qingfeng sword trembled and floated backwards. Yichu Zhengmie's body also shook violently. He held the sky extermination spear in his hand and kept retreating. This attack seemed to be evenly matched. However, Yichu Zhengmie's face was incomparably solemn. This Qingfeng sword only contained a strand of Tang Feng's aura, but it was actually so powerful that it was far beyond his expectations. I don't believe it. Sky extermination spear. Kill again. Yichu Zhengmie shouted. He fully controlled the sky extermination spear to attack the Qingfeng sword. The others also continued to attack Fei Huang, the third demon sword, and the others. Fei Huang and the others were once again in danger. Fei Huang, don't be delusional. It's just a strand of Tang Feng's aura. It can't save you. Yichu Zhengyang sneered. While attacking Fei Huang, his attacks did not stop at all. In an instant, the two collided several times in a row, but there was no clear winner. At this moment, there was a flame burning on Fei Huang's body. She was burning her soul power. This was Fei Huang's soul incarnation. Burning her soul power had no effect on Fei Huang's body. She had no other choice. Previously, when she was saving the third demon sword, she was hit by Yichu Zhengyang and lost a lot of soul power, causing her strength to weaken. If she did not burn her soul power, she would not be the opponent's opponent. This was the only way to stop the opponent. On the other side, the third demon sword had lost his battle strength and was protected in the middle by the others. At the same time, the second demon sword joined in. However, on the heavenly human tribe side, Yilu Shengqiang also did not have much battle strength left. Previously, when he controlled the sky extermination spear, he had exchanged a few moves with the Qingfeng sword and suffered a lot of damage. At this moment, he could not exert much battle strength. Even so, the Heaven Extermination Spear side still had a large number of people. If this continued, it was only a matter of time before they were defeated. Kill, kill, kill. Yichu Zhengmie was in a frenzy. He waved the Sky Extermination Spear and launched a frenzied attack on the Qingfeng sword. In just a short while, he had attacked the Qingfeng sword hundreds of times. The two sides clashed hundreds of times. However, they were both equally matched. Damn it! Yichu Zhengmie growled in his heart. He was even more shocked. Did this Qingfeng sword really only contain a wisp of Tang Feng's aura? How could a wisp of aura be so powerful? He even suspected that this battle sword was really Tang Feng's sword. Not only him, but Lu Ming and the others also had the same suspicion. If it was just a wisp of aura, then it was too terrifying. It's not a sword. It should be just a wisp of aura. It seems that he has become more powerful than before. Now, it's hard to predict, Xian Yanqing whispered. Lu Ming completely believed Xian Yanqing's words. Xian Yanqing's previous life was Tang Qing, Tang Feng's biological daughter. In this world, not many people knew Tang Feng better than him. If she said that it was just a wisp of aura, then it should be true. Of course, this also made Lu Ming and the others even more shocked. Bas! At this moment, the Qingfeng sword vibrated even more violently. At the same time, a light shadow appeared on the Qingfeng sword. This light shadow was a human figure. It was just that this figure was very blurry. It could barely be seen that it was a man. His figure was tall and straight, but his specific appearance could not be seen clearly. Even his age could not be distinguished. However, when Xian Yanqing saw this figure, her delicate body trembled and she whispered, "It's him." You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.